Hello, everybody. We're back again when we shouldn't be, honestly. But I
That's a
don't
great
know if any
introduction,
of you
by the
have
way.
seen this. Yes, I don't know if any of you have seen this. But Sam Harris, I think actually while we were doing our stream last night, Sam Harris was
Is
on with
fucking insane.
trigonometry, I do believe at the exact same time that we were streaming last night.
Probably,
And I
yeah.
think that we really have to watch some of this clip. It's going viral all over Twitter from what I've seen because this entire interview is insane. Sam Harris goes full
Yes.
mask off that he, I think, I mean, what would you like to say without giving it all away, Spoon? I tweeted about it earlier, and you were like, "Let's just stream about it." I'm like, "Yeah, why don't we? Let's just stream about it." What I said on Twitter, I'm just saying my TLDR of what we're going to watch here is that this man,
Sam Harris done lost his crazy mind.
He done lost his mind. He said that Hunter Biden could have had corpses in his basement and he still would support Joe Biden, and that the fact that the liberal media apparatus suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story was a conspiracy that was organized by the entire apparatus, so aforementioned apparatus, but that it was a good thing that they intentionally suppressed an important news story because it was a good conspiracy that they all engaged in because Trump is so horribly evil, and therefore it's okay for them to have beguiled and betrayed the American public's trust because Trump is that evil. Now, yes, we know this about, of course, as T here in the chat is bringing up, that Sam Harris, despite the fact that I think everyone who's familiar with Sam Harris knows that he is an intelligent man, he has got probably the worst case of TDS, of Trump derangement syndrome, that I have ever witnessed. I don't know about you, Spoon. I've never seen, I think, anyone
I'd
who's got a
say
worse
his case is particularly bad because you consider him to be quite smart.
He is quite smart.
Yes.
I mean, he is objectively intelligent.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing, you
but
know?
that's what makes it so bad. Is like when you can be clearly objective with many things, but like something so basic as a president makes you go completely apeshit. It makes you look particularly quite nuts. Like, if you expect someone to be like stupid and they say something crazy with regards to Trump, you're like, well, you're an idiot. But when you're you're objectively clever in other fields and you say something this bad, then it looks particularly bad because you're like, how the hell are you so smart? But this thing is the thing that makes you go like ape shit. It's weird, and it makes people question then.
Yes.
How smart are you really?
Well,
because you can't give me an objective measure of why Trump is bad.
Here's the thing: if he's allowing his emotions to overtake him this bad, it doesn't make him less of an intelligent person.
No, just a woman.
Sam is again. Well, he's gay, so that basically makes him the woman
is
version of that's you. Yeah, he's gay, isn't he?
Sam Harris isn't gay.
Am I wrong about that? Why did I think he was gay? Yeah.
Is he? No, he's not.
Yes. He's gay, isn't he? Am I wrong about this, guys? I thought he was gay.
Is he like Dave Rubin?
I know Dave Rubin's gay.
Dave Rubin, Douglas Murray. Well. I know Douglas.
I know Dave
Sam
Rubin's
Harris
gay, and I know Douglas Murray's gay. I thought Sam Harris was gay too, though. But I'm sorry, maybe I'm completely wrong about that. I thought he was. I don't know. My bad. Is Sam Harris? Hang on, is he married now? Sam Harris, wife. Is he married? Oh, he is married. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say.
Oh my god, he's been married for goddamn nearly 20 years. And I just completely maligned him. Apparently, I just assumed that he and all other intellectuals were gay.
That's actually the. Kiz has a point about Thomas Sowell saying about the vulgar part of the intellectuals. Because there's an episode of the Hoover Institution with Thomas Sowell, where Thomas Sowell says something about the intellectuals, and Peter Robinson says to him, "You're making the case that intellectuals are not very smart." And he said, "You're making the case that the fancier their education, the more likely you are to be wrong." And he said, "Yes, there's something to that because the fancier education, the more likely you are to spout off about something that you don't know." Like, yeah, that's true.
I mean, that is very. Sorry, I'm still distracted by my complete screw up thinking he's gay.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought he was gay.
Because it seems that every right wing intellectual is gay.
Yeah, that is an unusual thing that I've noticed. There's so many right wingers who are sensible and gay. There's actually quite a few monarchists I know that are gay as well. I'm like, why is it that like, so many like older gay people have like a reverence for the like, old conservative values? That to me is really weird.
Bizarre. Cringebot says it perfectly. He's spiritually gay. He is, however, acting like a great big fig, says No Pants Baby, and that he certainly is. So, guys, if you have not seen this interview with Trigonometry, I gotta say, lad, are you in for an experience?
I haven't watched it, by the way. I just saw that
I've
one
only
bit.
watched the clip. Yeah, I've only watched the clip. So let's watch the entire. That's why I wanted to get to it tonight and try to watch the entire thing so that we could have a little bit of a laugh, a little bit of a jape, a little.
He's probably
going
to say something sensible, but then he's going to go and say something wildly stupid.
We've heard the part that he says that's insane. There's no other way to describe it. Of him saying like that he would have voted for Biden even if Hunter had, excuse me, and I did get it wrong, children's corpses in his basement, and that it was a good thing that that the laptop conspiracy. And by the way, we know from
it's not a conspiracy, by the way. It's true.
But we also know from MRC polling data that if people had known about the Biden laptop shit,
it would have swung by like 12 points.
Voted. Yes,
yeah.
that
it would change the election.
Even if you think it was the safest, most securest, most wonderfulest election of all time, that was super securest, then even if you believe in that,
sorry,
if according to MRC data, even if that were the case, and it was the most safest and securest election of all time, Biden would have lost if people had known about the laptop scandal involving his son, who was doing all this influential crap in Ukraine and running around and being paid for by his dad to screw hookers and record all of it.
He literally got money from his father to fuck whores.
Yes, I know, which I mean,
that's like,
could not all be so lucky.
I find it funny that people give Trump crap for his morality. I'm like, have you seen the fucking current family who's in charge? Or supposedly? Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
This is the insane bit, is that from what I've seen, Sam talks trash about Trump's morality in this clip. Yeah. Which is just astonishing. But
are you crazy?
That's what I've heard. So before we get into it, real quick, I want to go over the early super chats we have, and thank you guys so much for super chatting from this impromptu stream right off the bat before we get into anything.
Sorry, my voice breaks when I hear crazy shit.
Yeah, you got really high pitch there. Kizza for £5 says Sam went full Vosh, never go full Vosh. Damn, Harris has proved the point Soul stated about the vulgar pride of intellectuals. Oh, absolutely, right. Stephen Nizek for $2 says beard is gay. Aiden 2022.
Have you said that before?
I don't think. Did I say that? My husband has a beard. I was actually complimenting his beard earlier. I was complimenting his beard earlier. He has a very nice beard. I like men with beards. Slayer P3 for 2 says so much for moral landscape conservative BS. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly on that one, dude. Kizza for another £5 says, Spoon, I can explain gays for kings. It's because the TOF class is full of gays. Never heard of fagging, worse than the Navy. I don't really understand that, Kizza, to be completely honest, but I'm not a Brit Bong. Do you understand that?
Yeah, actually I do.
Can you explain it to me?
Which the TOF thing, or which?
Yeah, the TOF thing. I don't even know what that means.
Well, the TOFs, like the snooty people.
Mm-hmm.
So like the aristocracy, basically.
Okay.
He's trying to say that the aristocracy are a class of puffs. I mean, it's the case of some of them, I imagine, because like you would typically think of people who have a reverence for the monarchy, and the aristocracy tend to be the upper classes.
Oh, okay.
It's not very often you'd find the peasants asking for a king.
True.
Yeah, so I think the case is if you are someone who asks for a king or have reverence for a monarchy, you probably come from some upper class, educated elite society.
Oh, okay, got it.
I don't, by the way, but the reason I have a reverence for a king is because I think democracies are gay, which is quite ironic considering that so many actual gays are for a monarchy, which is kind of weird.
That's actually quite humorous. Party as well. So neither Spoon nor I come from upper class families. We both come from working class families. At least I come from a working class family for 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad did work for the government.
I mean, I'm an Afrikaner. We come from farmers.
Yeah.
You know, although I will say, my uncle's family, they're actually very, very well off because they're successful farmers and unusually well, actually, as well. Like, I looked at some of their finances, like how much they're raking in. I'm like, fucking hell, no wonder you can afford what you can afford. Like, yeah,
Well,
like, well done. Well done.
good on them, right?
Yeah.
My two sides of the family, my mom's side of the family, her grandfather was a Lutheran minister. My grandfather was a carpenter who ran a construction business, and he had 5 sons, and he taught all of his sons a different part of how to build a house. And so basically, when all of his sons were of age, essentially, like when they were all adults, my mom's family, before my uncle, my one uncle died, he died very young because of cancer. You could have like called them up and been like, hey, can you build me a house? And you would have had a proper Amish style farm, or it should be barn raising, but instead of barn raising, they were going to build you a modern day house. We had electricians, plumbers, everything, carpenters, everybody in the family could do that. That's my mom's side. My dad's side, quite quite small. My dad's his father was a union man at the steel mill, and my dad decided he did not want to do that shit. My grandmother also worked at the steel mill, and in Pittsburgh. And my dad went and got a degree, and those are the two histories of my family in the United States. My dad's family only been living in the U.S. for a couple of years.
I want to say my grandfather, he was an accountant, and he resigned when I think like, he was in his late 40s or early 50s. He retired really early because they were bringing in computers, and he just said, "I have done my entire life doing accountings by the pen and the paper. I have no interest in learning this," and just resigned on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell he was able to do that financially.
I guess.
And also my grandfather said to me, if you're going to invest in anything, invest in land.
And always dude, your grandfather was right then. He's right now. Invest in land.
Always invest in land, yes.
The thing about land is that it's a non-volatile investment, so that you're not going to gain a whole bunch of money by the investment, but you're also not going to lose a bunch of money on the investment. It's a very stable investment that almost always goes up.
But
also,
I think as the population increases, the land becomes increasingly valuable. So there is that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kids Are for £5 also says bitches about Trump University. It says fuck off about the garbage of state education. Yeah, we're going to get into this. Maybe he should be asked, what is a woman to educate him? Well, I think as a woman, I think I'm about to educate Sam Harris.
Yeah.
This is again difficult for me to do because Sam Harris is an academic. I'm also an academic, and there's a kind of weird stigma about not shit talking each other. But I'm not the shit talk Sam Harris.
Someone said my grandpa was smart. Like my grandpa was like an old school fucking Chad. Like
my grandpa was.
If you see pictures of my grandfather, my grandfather looks like Colonel Sanders.
Dude, your grandpa looks like. Oh my god, dude!
No, like legitimately, there's a picture of my my mom and dad's wedding, and my grandfather standing next to them in a white suit with aviators on, and his hands crossed. He looks like a mafia don.
What a boss!
Straight up.
Okay,
and
afterwards,
he hunted with a gun, like he smoked, he fished, and he worked with his hands.
Wow.
Like he was like old school as you can freaking get.
What a boss!
Just
afterwards, we have look. Afterwards, Spoon, you and I have to exchange granddad pics and figure out which one is more of a badass. Because the pictures of my granddad when he was
mustache
young,
and everything.
He didn't. My granddad did not have a mustache. My granddad was a Navy engineer, and he was barrel chested, and he would just pick up like 500 pounds at a time. Like he was a Superman kind of guy.
Yeah.
So
I remember my grandfather's rifle, and he had like just like that long like Rambo style badge of just holster for his just like a line of bullets, like big feck of shotgun shells. Like so very much the old school.
Let's have a granddad off. We'll see who's more strong.
The Chinese would disagree on the land being a stable investment. Yeah, that's because Chinese land is notoriously shit.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of things about China. But I envy being able to respect both grandfathers. My maternal grandmother was a red spy. Oh my god, DRT is king. Well, thank you for the $5, but oof. Sorry about the commie aspect.
Well, so was Moldbug's grandparents.
That's right. Also, Moldbug's That's actually why some people think that Moldbug himself is a spy, and it's like I don't.
He's not a very good one.
If he's a spy, he's not a very good one. People will also be like, "Oh, this is something that really pisses me off," right? Like, I'll just okay. This is the thing on Moldbug, real quick. People on the hard right will be like, "You can't listen to Moldbug because he's a Jew," and it's like, ew. First of all,
Why?
fuck you. Secondly, fuck you. Like, I don't. I hate those actual couple far right people who get mad at people being Jewish. Just irritate the shit out of me.
They're leftists because the Nazis were left. They were not right. I don't care what anyone
you're
says.
not being helpful towards the right wing cause.
Yes,
and you're not. You're just
like you're just a racist. So shut up.
Yes, you're just a racist. That's what it is, and you have no real fucking good reason for doing it. I really hate that stuff. I despise that actually when like I'm trying to talk about Moldbug. I'm trying to talk about Moldbug.
Your all white utopia. Yeah. It's never gonna happen. Just let it die. You have to be sensible, and that's not sensible.
Hang on. It's yes, the idea of an all white utopia is stupid, but at this point, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen at this point. But we should be like, it's okay to be white, obviously. It's okay to be white. You shouldn't be sad. We should be upset about being white. We shouldn't be upset about white societies or anything like that. Yes. But yeah, like you're not going to get. Unfortunately, there's just no way within current reality to have this idealistic all-white society that some people talk about. Anyway.
Oh no. Here's If you've ever seen The Godfather, if you've seen the Godfather, the director that his bed that they put the horse head in. Imagine that guy with a mustache, and that's pretty much what my grandfather looks like.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, Stephen,
very close to that.
The bad Austrian man did not consider Slavs to be white, which is of course
he barely considered them human.
I know, which is insane. DRT is King for 5 says, I think the anti-Semitism comes from pure ignorance. They don't know any small hats, and once you know a few, they become people, unlike the Irish.
Yeah, that was a home run. That was quite a brutal shot.
Yeah, DRT is King. That's an excellent chat.
Oh, excellent. Very based.
If you don't know, of course, Spoon, despite being a South African man himself, lives in Ireland and grew up in Ireland. You grew up in Ireland by the time you were 10 years old.
Yeah,
you're basically Irish.
How dare you? Don't you ever insult me by saying that shit.
What, by knowing that you're Irish and you've spent more of your life in Ireland?
Yeah, but I don't speak Irish. I don't smoke like a chimney. I don't drink to get drunk. I don't really do anything that the Irish... And I don't fight people for no reason because I'm drunk.
Why don't you just fight people for no reason because you're drunk? That's the best part of the Irish.
Because I'm not Irish and I'm civilized.
This motherfucker doesn't understand the best part of being Irish is fighting people for no reason.
I think that's good if you're getting paid for it. But other than that, I don't think it's all that way.
All right, let's get into the show. Shall we?
I know people saying YouTube suspended the crowd. Is it temporary? Is it like a week off, or is it just permanent?
Riley Robo says you're Irish.
I hate you so much.
That's amazing. Look at Riley Robo. Look what you've done. You've made him upset. Wonderful.
She calls me her best friend, and then her main joy is to irritate the crap out of me.
You are my best friend.
With friends like those who need enemies, eh? Yeah.
You are my bestie, but look, you've never had a bestie before where the best part about being friends is to piss the other person off.
Yeah, but it's usually a guy. It's not a chick. It's that kind of shit.
All right, okay. Shall we get into enjoying watching Sam Harris being a wank? How about that?
That's a good phrase to use, actually.
Before we do, real quick, one more £5 from Gizzo says, you both hear the rumor Brian Stelter is being fired from CNN. It is not a rumor.
That's not a rumor, that's true. He actually has been fired.
The thumb has been expelled. I hope this is a nice white pill for all of us, but yes, Kizzo, I believe that is not a rumor, that's the truth.
I mean, I'm kind of sad because Mark Dice is going to get really pissed now.
Thumbelino is gone. The human thumb himself.
You know he's only like 35?
It's okay. That's the shit that makes that
He's 3 years.
I couldn't believe it.
He's 3 years older than me, which is insane.
Than us. We're the same age, Spoon.
Yes.
So, like, that's the crazy shit. Is that fucking Brian Stelter, who looks like he's an
Human
easy
potato.
45. He looks like he's a smooth 45. Is 3 years older than you and I. It's nuts. He is a very bizarre looking man. He's very, very heterosexual according to himself. But let's be honest. I don't believe that man has never sucked a dick. I'm just saying.
It is because like he
no
has no
shame.
He has no hair, and he's kept that really weird like 50s style hairstyle. And he's overweight.
And he's got that weird, creepy smile. Look, and also
he's got a baby face. That's why.
Again, he claims to be heterosexual. Do you believe that Brian Stelter is heterosexual, Spoon?
Yeah, I don't think many gay guys would fuck him.
Really? You think he's heterosexual? I'm shocked.
Yes.
I think
I'm a
that
millennial. Why do people think I'm not a
that
millennial? Do I not sound like a millennial?
Do you give off Zoomer vibes? I don't know.
He's 36. Yeah, that's still.
It's bizarre. He's in our he's in our generation. We are millennials, unfortunately, but that's the case. Also, Stephen Nizik for 2 says, "quote civilized Irish Spoon 2022."
I mean, I would say I'm civilized by South African standards, which is much higher than the Irish one, by the way.
Brian Stelter is out at CNN, which is hilarious.
I can't wait to watch Mark Dice's video tomorrow because he's gonna talk about this.
It's gonna be funny.
Like I have him on notification just because I want to see it the moment he fucking drops because I know he's gonna say some shit and he's also gonna be sad. Because he does that impression all the time, and I cannot see Brian Stelter without hearing that impression. It's ingrained into me. It's great.
No, Mark Dice's impression of Brian Stelter is amazing and hilarious. But I cannot wait.
I seem Gen X, really.
You don't seem Gen X to me. I mean, like again, like we align. I think because we're millennials. We're the exact same age, more or less. So.
No. I mean, yeah, we don't really come off like typical millennials. I mean, how many millennials do you know are monarchists? Yeah, we're a bit out there.
We're monarchist Christians, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of rare. Anywho, let's get into it. Let's stop beating around the George Bush. Let's actually get into Sam Harris, Trump, being religion, wokeness. This is Sam Harris being literally insane. Do you have the... watch together up on the screen. All right, let's go into it, starting now.
Trigonometry.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, great to be here.
It is great to have you on the show. We mentioned that usually when we start the show, we ask our guests to introduce themselves. You're well known enough that you don't need to do that. But what we did want to talk to you about, which is what we've been asking a lot of our guests on this trip in the US, is how are you who you are? Because you've done things that most people wouldn't do or wouldn't want to do, would be scared to do.
Should I speed this up a little bit, Spoon? Speed it up just a little bit.
You can if you want.
I'll put it just a little bit faster, because it's going to get insane later. I'm just going to speed up just a little bit. It's quite a long interview. We want to get through it a little bit expediently.
Apologies that people are afraid to call out. That takes courage, but it also takes determination. It takes something. Why do you have that something? How did you get it?
It's a hard question to answer. I mean, I think there's one algorithm I'm running.
Be aware they're being very polite to him at first,
which is what I would call intellectual honesty, right? And so the burden is not to be who you were yesterday.
Just being aware, he's saying that he got to where he is via intellectual honesty. So just keep that in mind as we go forward.
The burden isn't to join some tribe who you'll get social reinforcement from for conforming to. So it's insofar as I'm continually just trying to figure out what's true and what's consistent with what I claimed was true 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago, that causes me to just bump up against taboos and blasphemies and ideology.
I think that was true 10 years ago, Sam. I don't think that's true anymore. And as we will discover, you used to want to know what was true 10 years ago. Now you want to know what aligns with and what information you can align with your political beliefs. That's the reality.
That
he has no desire to understand the truth anymore.
More rigid than that, right? I mean, it's I mean, even having an identity itself is too much. It's like not only can you not really conform to a tribe, you can't really even conform to who you were yesterday if your master value is to be honest and rigorous and available to
You're
new
not gonna be
data,
honest.
new arguments.
But we'll see that. We'll see that again.
New insights.
That's a very good answer, but doesn't answer my question, which is how did you become that way? Why are you that
Yeah, I
way?
have no idea. I just like that was my, factory setting, and so from a very early age.
No, I don't believe that. By the way, I'm sorry. I do want to pause here. I don't believe that people are factory set to be that way.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
As someone who became an empiricist over the course of my life, it was because my father taught me to be an empiricist. I didn't just happen. It wasn't a factory setting for me. My father taught me to be an empiricist.
I think it's maybe a factory setting for him, not of humans in general. Maybe that's what he means, because that makes more sense.
Yeah, maybe it is for him. Maybe it is for him. I still find that bizarre, but it's very unusual. I think somebody usually influences you. Usually, a parent influences you to have an empirical
or Lenin in my case.
mindset. Right. Well, again, my dad and my mom. My mom is a preschool and kindergarten teacher. She taught me to respect learning, and my dad was a historian. He taught me to respect empiricism, and then I had wonderful professors in college, and that's how I became an empiricist. But that didn't happen all on my own. Like, people are molded in many ways, and it's interesting. I find that bizarre because I think most people would say that they are molded by other people around them. I actually think it's bizarre to think you're not, that you're out of the box a certain way. That is kind of a weird perspective to me, but maybe that's just me. I don't know how you guys feel.
I was driven to the right by humor.
Yeah, sure.
Because the left are gay and they're not funny.
Yeah, right.
And I like people who are straight and actually funny, which is not the left. And the left, the more I listen to these people, I like. The biggest thing for me is when Bernie Sanders was talking about the race thing, when he said like white people don't know what it's like to be poor, and I was like, demographically speaking, that's bullshit. And I know for a fact what you're pushing has not worked in my country, and if it doesn't work in my country, it sure shit isn't going to work in yours. And that just.
Real quick. Yeah, exactly. Red 5 Golf asked in the chat, what is Sam Harris famous for? Sam Harris is famous for being a neuropsychologist.
Not neuropsychologist.
Neuropsychologist, and for really making podcasts. And that's what really made him quite famous, is that he was talking about politics. And Von Sonch said something else about why Sam's famous. I thought he was gay. I was wrong about that.
I was about to say, is that where the gay thing comes from?
But Sam Harris is mostly famous for doing podcasts.
I like saying that word, by the way.
He's an intellectual. He's an intellectual. He's got a background.
An intellectual. I think after this, he's probably going to retire that label, at least for a while.
Well, I don't know. Would you let this go? If you want to say anything for a minute, Spoon, I'm going to go away for 1 second. I have to use the restroom. Go ahead. I'm going to play the video. But go ahead.
I guess I showed up as a skeptic on many fronts. I mean, I was certainly an argumentative teenager. I like to say that. Yeah. So I mean, that was really some kind of default, and that part really hasn't changed. I think I pick my battles better now than I used to. I mean, I could turn any dinner party into a knockdown, drag out debate about the most fundamental issues anyone could summon, and I think I.
That when it comes to Trump, then I would lambaste the holy shit out of you because you have no logic whatsoever with regard to Trump.
As I get older, I pick my battles more, just because I like that the hassle factor of touching certain topics in certain ways has become more salient for me. Twitter was the real teaching tool for me. Like I just I got on the platform as everyone did, not really aware that I was enrolling myself into a psychological experiment to which no one had consented, and the outcome is as yet unforeseen. And
the outcome of Twitter is not unforeseen. It makes people go completely freaking crazy. I mean, if not crazy, it will make you hate people, because if you read the comments, you go, holy shit, half of the society are completely out of their mind and do not seem to have any grasp on objective reality.
I just kind of let loose, on various topics, and I would, when I would see some malefactor there who was treating me or other people badly, well, then I had to deal with that right then and there, and it's just the hassle factor of dealing.
Yes, text on a screen is very offensive. It requires great intellectual rage to quelch.
Dealing with
what happened actually,
toxicity of it, and also just the.
Mind, give me a quick recap because I left for a second.
It's nothing important.
All right.
I'm convinced now that at bottom it's a misrepresentation of humanity, right? It doesn't seem like you're actually dealing with what someone wrote there.
That is the smartest thing you've ever said, Sam. That is literally the smartest thing anyone has ever said about Twitter. Actually, I would say that.
That doesn't fucking matter, because of course it doesn't.
But you're not getting the whole person. You're getting a part of them that has been amplified by the frame into which.
Yes, and I could tell you, I could give you 1,000 different studies to show you that. But yeah, whatever.
It's got anonymity. It's got facelessness. It's got
yes.
performative aspect
Again,
of doing it in front of your crowd or some possible crowd. So it's disastrous for intellectual honesty and compassion and theory of mind, actually understand, taking the extra moment to understand where the other person is coming from. And so it's, there's no principle of charity. So it's really a disastrous machine for
just to be clear.
Manufacturing
wait,
discord.
could you pause it for a second?
We had a guest on the show.
Go on.
He is correct. Like I just said, there's about 1,000 different studies that would show that what he's saying there is correct. Everything that he's saying about the online environment is accurate. People are assholes. People are dicks. Like that is reality. But that's the only thing that I would say that Sam is correct about. He might be correct on accident, but he is correct scientifically. Go ahead. Sorry.
Called Richard Grannon, who made the point that what it does is reduces everyone to an avatar.
Mm.
So if everyone's an avatar, what does it matter if you attack them, if you
Right.
dehumanize them, if you misrepresent them? Because the
De-individuation,
game is to win, right?
dehumanization.
It's not to actually have a discussion. It's to destroy and ultimately to win.
It can be.
Yeah,
not
well,
necessarily.
especially if you're a public person dealing with people who are not public people, right? Because then it's just a single shot, lottery. It's not there's no ongoing future of collaboration or cooperation that is being maintained.
That is true. Yeah.
I mean, it's even bad when you have two public people who both know they're going to meet each other in real life at some point. Still, the wheels come off rather often to a surprising degree.
It's the inherent nature.
It's
Tajfel, Turner. It's
in the end, I think it's bad
Oaks.
technology, which is it's still somewhat inscrutable. Because it
All
seems
of
like it
research
should be
on
good.
interpersonal communication online is what he's talking about. Which is true, is that people have these very hyper personal, but also very hyper mean, hyper animosity fueled interactions online because of the lack of individuality and the lack of social norms that come along with the de-individuated online state. So that is true, but whatever. It's not really relevant to everything else he's going to say.
Good. I mean, and in some ways it is good because you're seeing, you're seeing a lot of smart people tell you what most interests them and most worries them on a daily basis, and sending you articles and videos and that's why I can't break my connection to it, because I'm following so many smart people who are curating for me an information diet that I still appreciate.
I'll be honest, the main thing I like about Twitter is that I can see headlines. That's literally the only thing.
That's what I use it for as well, is to collate headlines.
That was the one thing I liked about Facebook, because I can just see it's news aggregator. It's like an updating version of Real Clear Politics. That's it. Like, that's really all I care about. Like, if someone said to me, you can use Twitter, but you can't see any updated headlines, I would legitimately have no use for the platform. All in honesty.
Twitter is actually quite important because, here's the thing that's interesting. When I was in college in 2012, in my undergraduate degree, we were studying Twitter because we were studying it as a news aggregator. In my public relations degree. This was not in my major. So I have a undergraduate degree I have 2 degrees. I have a degree in communications and public relations. I have minors in advertising and psychology. I have a graduate degree in communication. Did I say communications? Ew. I'm never supposed to say that. But I have a graduate degree in communication, and I was a PhD student in communication. Didn't finish that, but at any point I should probably finish it.
Hassan Hopper just slammed Harris, by the way.
Oh, what happened?
Look at his super chat.
I'm smoking a cigarette, so can you take it?
He says, Sam Harris says Twitter is disastrous for intellectual honesty. I present Sam Harris as an example of his own assertion.
Yeah, I
that's
do.
Very good.
But I completely agree, Hasso. But when I was in college, one of the things that we were taught about, particularly in the PR degree, because I was again very involved in public relations, and thought that was going to be one of the many I've talked many times about the points in my life where there were like obvious divergent paths that could have left me being an extreme far leftist or doing jobs for far leftists.
Oh my God, Russia is going to do something crazy.
Oh, what do you think?
Russia to give 1 million rubles to women who birth 10 or more children.
That's insane. That's an insane number of children, though. Come on.
I was wondering, do you mean the money or the children?
The number of children's insane. 10 children?
That means you're going to compete with someone for a war.
Dude, my mom came from a family that had 7 children. Or 8 children, including my mom. That was insane, even at the time, people thought that was weird. Even in the 60s and 70s, people thought that was weird.
That gives new meaning to the phrase motherland.
I guess so.
That's a good pun, by the way, and fuck all of you who don't laugh at that, because that's funny. Oh my goodness!
If you have
Newt Spencer, that's breeding an army. It fucking is.
It is breeding an army. If you're having 10 children, you have to basically start having kids from like
20,
18, dude. Let's be real.
That's basically going to be like your life's work.
Because you really need like 2 years. Because like it takes about a year to produce the child, 9 months, obviously. You're gonna need like 6 months break before you can try to start again. So you have to just you have to machine factory that stuff out. That's nuts. Like I'm
doing my puns. Like, fuck you,
dude. I'm like trying to maybe try.
How much money does it take to have 10 kids? Because by the time you get the million, it's just going to be used to pay off the kids you just had.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Because again, I'm trying to maybe try to have one, and it's gonna be a big problem because I have, my own genetic issues that I can't, that are just in place that are gonna make that difficult. But just
it's
one
funny.
is
I was watching a guy whose name currently escapes me. I'll tell you his name in a second. His name is Peter Zane. He was talking about the delicate balance society needs of workers, consumers, and investors. And he was talking about the relationship between that. And he said China has such a problem with Mao's children policy that it's really only coming to root now. And he said the way that their society is structured, economic-wise, the Chinese country is going to collapse in this decade. It's going to get fucked.
And so currently, as Akane has pointed out, is that 1 million rubles is equal to about $1,666,000.
Yeah, but the ruble might be worth more in their country, like buying wise.
Yeah, buying wise, but it's $16,000, $16,500, right? And that's for 10 kids. That's a lot. Kids cost a hell of a lot more than that.
Well, let's see how their economy does so far, because they're on the gold standard again, by the looks of it, and their ruble is actually growing, so who the fuck knows? I have no idea what Russia's doing.
Bro, that is... what are this Irish twins thing that everyone's mentioning? I don't know what this is, guys. Irish twins.
I don't know any Irish twins. Actually,
siblings born less than a year apart from each other. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I wasn't familiar with that, but that's
yes, I am. I'm talking about Peter Zane's analysis.
That's rough. That's very rough. That's a lot. That's a lot. I can't. Okay, so here's something that men
born
might not
6
know.
months apart. Does that not mean that
Hang on.
The kids are preemie? Here's
things that men might not know. Women cannot get pregnant while they are breastfeeding. Okay? This is a real thing. Like, while you are actively breastfeeding, your body really can't get pregnant again. The female body it can at the end of breastfeeding, but while you're actively breastfeeding, it's really, really difficult for the female body to get pregnant again. So the human body is kind of built around like being like a cool down period, right? So generally speaking, it's very difficult to get.
It might throw your boobs into fucking haywire.
Well, if you're not breastfeeding, which might have been the case in the past, that somebody... No, it's not wrong. And it's not wrong.
Jedward was the immediate Irish twins I was thinking about.
It is not wrong, guys. Look into this. It is not. I'm not incorrect. If you are actively breastfeeding, it's really, really difficult to get pregnant again. Okay?
The Irish woman can, it seems.
You can, I guess some women can, but maybe those women in the past weren't actually actively breastfeeding.
This stream is very anti-Irish, I've noticed.
They might have been. They might have had.
They'll take a lot of pot shots to the spud eaters.
They might have had a what do you call it? Not a midwife. What's the word?
A mistress?
No, women who breastfeed babies. A wet nurse. Oh,
sorry.
So
I know you were talking about. I was just confused.
No, just saying it's very difficult for women to become pregnant while they're breastfeeding. Dude McGuy Pants says that's not true, Aiden. Immediately after birth, women are typically fertile for approximately a week. Then it becomes difficult because of breastfeeding. Okay.
Oh, there
so
we go.
Dude McGuy Pants, there you go. So you've got a week. Right? But you understand that what I was saying is correct. That breastfeeding, reduces.
You gotta be messed up, like have a birth and then get pregnant within the next week again.
I gotta
damn.
be. Come on now. Like that's nuts.
You must really like screwing your wife.
And that's a big open hole at that point. You know that too. Like it's
okay. This is going right off the rails. Like
we've gone very
all pregnant ladies or women who have children. I have to apologize on behalf of my co-host
Sam Harris,
who is currently being very rude.
Sam Harris is like not obese Tom Segura. That is true. Tom Segura is my boy. I don't know if you knew that actually. DP is that I'm a huge fan of Tom
Segura. She basically worships the guy.
I don't worship him. I've just been listening to that podcast for 12. Look, I've been listening to the same podcast for like 10 to 12 years.
That does not help your case. That more helps mine.
Whatever. I haven't listened to Sam Harris's podcast for 10 years.
Not French Nicolas Sarkozy.
Did you hear what Bill said?
Oh my goodness, he totally does. Oh my goodness, yeah, he does. He does.
Oh
now, thanks, Bill. Now I can't unsee that.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh my goodness, he totally does.
But yes,
he so does.
The TLDR though is that it's very difficult to get pregnant if you're breastfeeding. Your body does not really want you to do it because you're already taking.
You're gonna stream a Bill. Bill makes good points.
I would love for Bill to come on, but he doesn't like anybody. Anyway, let's
Tim Dillon is funny as well.
I also have to grab another drink, so I'm gonna let this go for a minute because I have no more soda here. I have no soda. You go.
You with your raging alcoholism.
No, I don't have any soda. Oh, wait, do I?
Are you telling me you're drinking soda with nothing else?
No, I'm gonna put liquor in it, obviously.
Yeah, see, but you proves my point.
What is this?
Swear to God, this woman.
All right, just go.
And then I, occasionally put my own stuff out there, just so it's like a kind of a.
It's the Irish are synonymous with potatoes. If potatoes didn't appear until Europe discovered the New World, what did the Irish eat before Columbus? Whiskey. And probably nothing else.
A marketing channel, but I'm doing much less in the weeds back and forth with even public people who I notice poke me on a given issue or whatever. So
Sam, do you not have a little thought in your head when you go to tackle these very contentious subjects, and you know that you're going to get
now I have to look up what were the Irish eating before potatoes because I'm genuinely curious.
Pushback, you know that you're going to get flack, you know that you're going to get misrepresented. Do you not think, I really shouldn't be doing this? Or what goes through your mind before you go out and you make your point?
Well, again, I think about it more than I used to now. I mean, I used to do it there was no friction in the system. I mean, I just was like, okay, it's like that cartoon meme, somebody on the internet is wrong about something. And that's, I was that guy on Twitter, and so I'm not that guy anymore. And I really do pick my moments, and there's a cost to that because there's, that you decide to sit certain cultural moments, and you sit on the sidelines. And, but I mean, if I could distill it to a lesson here, it's like you don't always need to have an opinion about everything, right? You certainly don't always need to have a strong opinion about everything. And even if you do have a strong opinion, you don't always have to be the person expressing that opinion because.
Okay, so apparently dairy was what the Irish ate. An arseload of it, apparently. So,
Well,
very likely someone else will, right? And
sort of.
Given those adjustments.
Whiskey is not potato alcohol. Whiskey is barley.
Barley, yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Scotch is made of. It's
But potato is vodka.
Potato is vodka. I would say it's not the only thing you can make vodka from.
As I pour myself a glass of vodka.
I could swear there's other things you can make vodka from as well. But yeah, typically speaking, whiskey is made from wheat, corn, barley.
Wheat.
Barley is the main thing that they use in Scotland because that's where barley grows. It's also why they didn't make barley in America, because corn is the predominant grain in the US. So they use that to make bourbon. They made it in a specific region. Yes. Bourbon whiskey. Anyway, yeah.
Back to Sam Harris.
To the machine, you can just decide.
No, Irish whiskey is made from corn. It's made from barley as well.
Made from corn.
It's made from barley.
Is this? Do I really want to spend the next 24 hours dealing with the aftermath?
Oh my god! Real quick though. Sorry, I had this corn whiskey that was made from cream corn when I was in Kentucky. I think. Oh my god, though it tasted just like cream corn, but I gotta say, delicious whiskey. So good. It was so good. It tasted
so much of
like
what
corn.
you just said made me want to hit you.
Like
cream corn, just like that just offends me as a concept.
It tasted so good. Yes, it tasted like cream corn, but as a whiskey, and it was delicious, and I loved it. It was amazing.
As far as I know, and I could be wrong, so if there's any Irish whiskey fanatics, do tell me. I want to say Irish whiskey is made from a combination.
Sugar can make vodka, huh?
No, it's made from a combination of barley.
Well, several people have said Horned Rabbit and Augusto Pinochet have both said rye. I don't know.
No, Irish is not made of rye. That's rubbish.
Well, I don't know.
No, it's made of barley, but there's
How is it this hard to get through a video? Because this is how we talk. we get distracted.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Okay.
To tweet, right, or to say in some other format. And in particular, it relates to the likelihood that certain personalities are going to go berserk, and then with certain people, it's guaranteed that they're going to go berserk. So, like, here's this odious opinion expressed by a semi-odious person who really deserves to hear what I think right now. Is it worth whacking that hornet's nest and then just dealing with and being seen to deal with, or to not deal with, and to maybe look like you can't deal with the aftermath?
Yeah.
Right? It's like.
Sam, you talked about tribalism at the beginning, and that's something that Francis and I both feel very strongly is contributing to much of the divisiveness and the way things are going. And look, let's be clear, the show is called Trigonometry. We want to explore difficult subjects. There's no question that neither him or I are woke in the consent. Opposing that ideology has been a big part of what we do. But the tribalism is a different thing. We don't want to be in the anti-woke tribe or the woke tribe.
Constantine, I think, is being very fair and asking very fair questions, just to be clear.
And there was a tribe around 2015, 2016. It's a very small tribe of very smart people, which was referred to as the intellectual dark web. Yeah. Which I remember at that time, we weren't doing this, we were just too...
And we have to be clear, I think, about this, you and I, Spoon, is that Sam Harris was considered part of the intellectual dark web, and so was Mencius Moldbug.
I think Mencius Moldbug went really hard right, and Sam just, he went off the fucking rails.
Well, I think they went in different directions, but I would say that we should be clear.
He went insane.
Is it the person that we very, very often cite and talk about?
Unmalted, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Someone who we talk about very frequently, who has been a big inspiration to both of us, has been Mencius Moldbug, a.k.a. Curtis Yarvin. Yeah. And he was considered part of the intellectual dark web in the early to mid-2010s. And Jordan Peterson, of course. Tyro, you're correct as well. And as was Sam Harris. And Sam Harris appears to have taken a different turn in his life from many of the other people within the intellectual dark web. Sam Harris appears to have not wanted to be part of the dark web, but part of mainstream.
It's the web of people that have no mind.
I mean, that's how it comes off to me, but we'll see. Let's hear the answer to this question.
Comedians, I remember watching you guys have those conversations and being inspired by people. I don't think you guys had the answers, but you had the right questions. You did have the right questions. And then over time, we watched that loose tribe of very bright people, as loose tribes of very bright people always do, crumble, disintegrate, fall out. Yeah. What happened?
Well, the first thing that happened is that it was actually, for some of us more than others, a tongue-in-cheek label for a tribe that really wasn't. I mean, none of us are tribal people. You know, it really is a herding cats sort of situation. And when I launched, so, you know, it was Eric Weinstein coinage, which I launched on a podcast we did. And I think in that context, I telegraphed that I thought it was tongue in cheek. I mean, I think he probably thought it was more in earnest than I did, or he was at least more attached to the label. And then very quickly, there were people who sort of joined this collection, or who were said to be in it, some of whom I had never heard of at that point, who, you know, upon just a little bit of analysis, revealed themselves to be people who I really don't agree with, not just on the actual substance of specific opinions, just their methodology by which they would generate opinions, or their lack of methodology. So, you know, I'm not inclined to name names, but there are people who, like, it's just wrong to think.
You should name names.
You know, they were ever moving in the same lane I was in at that point.
He said it just there. Wrong thing. Interesting.
When we were all called IDW people, right?
By the way, I've been called part of the IDW, which I don't understand. Like, I've never was involved with this. I've been called part of this. I don't get it at all, but whatever.
But I think the biggest force of fragmentation was Trump and what.
Yeah, because you went insane, my dude. Phenomenon. That's what happened.
Yeah. And this is what I was going to ask you. I'd say there were two things that fractured it from that. Looking,
he's well aware about
COVID
this, by the
later,
way.
But Trump was the.
So let's start with Trump, because I want to talk about COVID as well. But if we start with Trump, you took a different view to almost everybody.
I would love to know what he says about COVID, actually.
we'll get into that, but like, Sam is well aware that it was over Trump that he lost his mind. He doesn't see it that way, obviously, but Trump is where he went insane, and that's where he lost
everyone.
Like, I'm going to say the majority of his audience, is because he made it clear that he was not a rational person, and that he couldn't think rationally about things because he was so politically taken for a ride by the mainstream media in particular.
I would say in what was described as IDW, in the sense that you were, I think you were calling for Twitter to shut down Trump's account and were happy that it happened. Yeah, that's a very different position to pretty much everybody else. Why did you take that position?
Well, for two reasons. One, so the non.
Just saying, I'm just saying, everybody in the chat, get ready. This is where things are about to take the interesting turn. So buckle your seatbelts.
Interesting, she means insane.
And this is something I've never gotten a clear answer on from any of the people who took the different side of this. And many of these people are ostensibly libertarians, or at least, quasi-libertarians. And they want something like a minimum of state coercion and control. They don't want just a proliferation of laws to make our lives.
We don't want any with regards to speech.
We don't want any. Yes, in regards to speech, we don't want any.
It's more difficult. And that's an orientation. Though I consider myself liberal and have always voted as a Democrat. I mean, until we dealt with this woke apocalypse, I would have certainly called myself a Democrat without much self-consciousness.
So you were basically one of the people that was feeding the machine unknowingly.
You're actually worse than a Democrat, as we're about to see. Like, you're further left. You voted maybe right one time out of confusion, but the reality is that you are totalitarian, as we're about to see from Sam Harris's beliefs. He is a totalitarian. I don't think he's a. Do you agree with me, Spoon? Because I know you've seen this. That he is a totalitarian. A totalitarian.
No, I don't think so.
I think he's certainly bordering on it. Then.
No, I think he's just kind of gay.
Right.
I've always had this libertarian kind of underpinning to my politics, which is,
I don't know how you can be libertarian vote for the Democrats. That doesn't make any sense. One of those is bullshit.
Look, I'm not going to...
Considering the libertarian was a movement of the right, I don't know how you consider it's a left thing. That makes it... Like, Styx had this point, like, you can't be on the left and libertarian.
Let's not beat around the bush.
It's only on the right.
Hang on, I want to be clear. Let's not beat around the bush. There is an aspect of the Republican Party that absolutely is authoritarian as well. There is an aspect of the... There was historically, so I understand why someone who's a little bit older, like Sam Harris, might still have who might have that confused idea. I'm talking about the conservative religious right. That's what I'm talking about. That specific part of it. Do you know what I mean?
What, you mean the base ones?
The ones that were a little bit extreme.
This is like in the 1960s.
The extremist ones.
There's people that
the religious warhawk right is extremist. They are totalitarian. But
oh, you mean those ones? They're like Dabney, like the old conservative ones, those are like over 100 years ago.
No, I'm talking about the ones from the 1970s.
I can't take them seriously.
I know I can't take them seriously either, but they did exist. I'm just saying that they did exist.
Yeah,
So
but
I can understand why. I'm just saying I can understand why somebody like Harris thinks that that is the way that the right is that it's conservative, right wing religious insanity.
I don't be done by the state with
The theocracy of the right, which it somewhat was, but I mean, it doesn't. By the way, it hasn't existed in 20 years. We know this now. It hasn't existed in 20 years.
I
But
have
this is
read
but
some.
let's not be clear that it didn't exist at one point. Okay.
I have read some because I remember the original, and I think there's an article because it was on MSNBC. The original homeschool movement of the right, or the original homeschool movement in America, was by some, apparently, I don't believe this because MSNBC said it, therefore it's wrong. It was this movement of trying to get rid of state school indoctrination and instead indoctrinate them with a Christian ethic, because they would be the rulers of tomorrow, and therefore make some sort of theocratic state, which just sounds absurd. And that was one of the reasons why they have... Yeah, it's because that was one of the reasons... Because remember when COVID hit and all these people started hearing what the shit their teachers were teaching?
God.
Yeah,
oh my god.
And then a whole bunch of people just said, you're teaching my kid a whole bunch of crap, no wonder their heads are screwed up. And now a lot of them started homeschooling. Like if you look at pre and post COVID, the homeschooling rate shot up dramatically. And
So,
these people were losing their minds saying, oh, we're going to have a theocratic overlords now if you do more homeschooling. It's like, no, you're an idiot. That's ridiculous.
My next video is going to be on homeschooling in large part, and the entire idea of that kind of stuff. And yes, I looked at it over COVID in particular, and it's freaking fascinating that women are like, I'm miserable having to be at home with my children, but I'm also miserable working. That kind of stuff is so insane. It's so weird to look at the data on that. But real quick, Supreme Emperor Kiza for £5 says, Sam doesn't know history. Also, neocons are not conservatives. Yes, exactly, Kiza. But liberal hawks. Stop pushing the leftist lie of history. Who freed the slaves? Of course, it was the right-wing party. It was the conservative party in the United States who freed the slaves because
Lincoln.
the left-wing Democrat... Lincoln did...
And then said, go back to Africa.
Lincoln wanted to send them back to Africa and really tried to. He really did. You have to be clear that this idea that the parties switched or something is confusing. But Scrix for $50. Thank you so much, Scrix said. Off topic, but I have a theory on H.P. Lovecraft. He was a prophet looking into the future. But all he saw was tentacle, BBC, nararare, hentai being read by dragons to kids. Thoughts? I think it's very possible that that's what was happening with Lovecraft, as he was looking into the future and seeing something that was horrifying. And of course, H.P. Lovecraft was himself an actual racist. He did change later in life. It's very strange that all of the grand histories, I guess, of science fiction have now said that H.P. Lovecraft was evil, so we can't talk about his work because he was a racist. It's like, yeah, but he was racist in 1920 in New England, like when
That's
everybody
kind of norm,
was
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, in fact, in his later life, he wrote specifically about, and he was extremely isolated as a person. He didn't talk to anyone because he had a weird, crazy relationship with his mom. And he was living at home. He didn't react. He had no personal interactions with other people besides through letter writing. He just was a prolific letter writer. That's how he knew other people. He was doing the 1920s version of being an internet incel, essentially, right? Even though he did have a wife at one point, but she was also kind of a bitch, from what we know. He was very, very alone. And when he did, later in his life, when he did get to experience the world more broadly, he actually intensely and directly denounced his previous racist beliefs. And do you know what most of his racist opinions, do you know who they were towards, Spoon?
White rednecks.
No, it was towards non-Anglos. So like the Welsh. Like his fish people stuff was about Welsh people. That he thought that the Welsh were so... Yes, mine were so subhuman. They were basically like fish subhumanoids. I'm serious.
Very based.
when Lovecraft is talking about being disturbed by fish humans in his town, he's talking about Welsh immigrants. And the Irish, by the way, so you're not absolved from that.
Hey, I live here. I don't have any ties with these people. My ties are with the French and the Dutch, thank you.
Just say, I know, that's even worse.
No. The French and Dutch are more based in the freaking Welsh. Get the hell out of here.
But that, like...
The French had a revolution.
Did Lovecraft say some shit about black people? Yeah, but he mostly hated the Welsh and the Irish.
The French had a revolution, and the Dutch ate a PM that pissed them off. That makes that is a bad, like when you're so annoyed you eat your leader. That's incredibly based.
DRT is king for $5 says the GOP of people like Thaddeus Stevens was a righteous right-wing institution who believed that, quote, all men are created equal. But he was based, yeah, very much. And Ornu for 5 says, blew my super chat budget yesterday. Lovecraft was based, but why does Aiden sound high? I'm not high.
A bunch of people have actually said you're high. I don't.
Do I sound high?
Apparently,
I wish
a lot of people think you are.
I wish I was. I'm not though. I'm just in a good mood. Oh no, is it? I'm happy.
Or yeah, it could be that.
Because I'm all right. Let's get back into this. We got a whole bunkle of this to get back into. Let's get through this stupid Sam Harris shit as much as we can of it.
If the private sector can handle it, it's probably best done there, right? I mean, just given the level of inefficiency and poorly aligned incentives you get in a government bureaucracy, and peaceful, honest people should have.
I don't know how the hell you can be a Democrat, but you can see all of that as a problem with the government, considering the Democrats want more government and everything.
Yeah, obviously.
That's very weird.
The right to be left alone, so it's like unless somebody is harming people or, guilty of fraud, i.e. theft.
Guilty of fraud, like Biden, yeah.
Stealing from people.
Yeah, sorry.
We don't need the government involved, and so that's my general framework. And many people, ostensibly in this group, agreed with that. So when I look at Twitter, Twitter is a company that can decide to, as someone who has started, information-based companies at this point, I'm just thinking about what's the scenario under which I would want the government to force me to have Alex Jones on my podcast or to have Donald Trump on my podcast?
That's not how it would ever work.
That's not how that works. What the hell? You can choose not to have them on, you ass.
This is so disingenuous. What he's saying is that he's conflating the idea that Twitter should allow someone like Alex Jones to be on its platform with forcing someone like him to have Alex Jones on his platform. This is insane. This is nonsensical. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, Sam. It's absolutely insane.
On my podcast, is it conceivable that my podcast
look how confused
so
they even look confused because they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I've considered creating a social media platform, right? If that could grow so big that suddenly the government would have an interest in forcing me to have people on it who, for whatever reason, I object to having on. I mean, this is a way in which I.
Oh no, hold on a second. Wait. So someone said, like, how can I be a monarchist and be in favor of the French Revolution? Let me just say, I like that the people actually got rid of the bad monarch by killing them, because one of the things we like is that we don't like.
We like this.
Yes, we don't like that the political class does not face any repercussions in a democracy. Like the fact that you can axe them with like literally killing them, like via revolution, I think is more based in voting, because voting is shit and it doesn't do anything. But the French also perfected absolutism, and they were very.
You guys got to understand, and I know that it seems. I know that it seems contradictory. But just because we support monarchy doesn't mean we support monarchy in all situations all the time. In fact, one of the reasons why we support monarchy is because with a monarchy, you have one head of the Hydra, which means that there's one head to be cut off if it is incredibly corrupt and broken. Yeah. Stephen Nizik for 5 says Sam Harris' definition of libertarianism is that censorship must be privatized.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
It is true. And that's screwed up.
Yeah.
That's not libertarianism. I mean, okay. Actually, technically it is true.
Which?
That if you want to engage in censorship, that it should be privatized, right? That private companies can decide to engage in
but to be fair, he mentioned the government in this bit.
But he did mention the government.
Yes.
And he specifically mentioned that the government should be silencing people's speech. He didn't talk about private companies entirely. He did mention Twitter, but he also mentioned the government wanting to, that the government needs to step in to silence bad speech. Right? And yes, it is correct. Death Pig, you're right. Censorship is wrong and it's bad regardless of who does it. We are against censorship.
Am I a communist?
Here
I don't
in
like a
this
mass
house.
state.
No, we are heavily against mass states. We are heavily against any large state in general. In fact, it's why we are monarchists. It's because we want a small state. Slayer for P3 for $2 says libertarian internet would be open source. Yes, and it would be amazing. Anyway, let's go back into Sam Harris because I think this is horrible. But let's get back into it.
I'm more extreme than most people on the left. Like I do think at this point,
that's true.
In history, you should be able to have a social media platform and exclude any specific group you want.
Wow.
And just say that's the way we do it, right? And if you don't like it, boycott us, right? So like I wouldn't have said this in 1964 when we have to pass the Civil Rights Act.
Wow.
But at this.
So by the way, what he just said is
that's interesting. He said I wouldn't have said this in 1964. So you are doing this totally on a political and ideological level. So it's just for your side. So you have no problem censoring as long as it's for your benefit. Okay, got you.
And just to reiterate, what he said is that he says he would have no problem with with the social media platform that said no blacks allowed. That from his own, that's what he just fucking said. I mean, like he can try to change his mind, but what he just goddamn said is that he would be fine with a social media platform that said no blacks allowed. Just saying.
I think you should have the
from
right
his own words,
to be
from his own mouth.
An asshole who destroys your reputation and suffers the penalties in the marketplace.
Yeah, you're actually going to do this by what you're about to say
doing right now.
Yeah,
what you're doing right now.
Ideas, right? So I think if you want to just have a social media network for beautiful people, right, or people who are guys who are over 6'2" and blonde hair and blue eyes, right? I can't get on.
Wow, there it is.
Feel free to raise money for that enterprise, launch it, and I'll laugh when it fails, right? So like that's now.
Well, why would it fail, Sam? Why would it fail?
The problem is,
real.
Sam.
Well, you also know why he would laugh when it fails is because he would scream and screech and cry because he's actually not okay with this, and he would scream and screech and cry and try to make a whole big fucking hubbub about how you're not allowed to do that. Because he's not okay with it.
But the thing of it is...
That's the whole point.
The thing that he does not recognize, for some bizarre reason that I can't understand, is that such an entity that wields a disproportionate amount of power as the information hub that is Twitter and Facebook, is it is going to get co-opted by government forces. And say, if you don't do X, we will shut you down.
Yeah.
Or penalize you.
More specifically, what he just said is that, like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but I want you to get shut down. You can start it, but then I'm going to let you get shut down. He does not actually support this. This is entirely bullshit. Sorry, continue. Go on with this stupid. This is insane. Go on with this.
Control, that kind of thing, is or should be illegal. If you're just a normal person on the left. But I think at this moment in history it shouldn't be. But in any case, when I look at Twitter, I see a company that has terms of service, which people like Alex Jones and Trump clearly violated. I mean, whether they
No, they did not.
No, they didn't. Neither one of them violated the terms of service. Trump got kicked off because Twitter just didn't want him to have any platform anymore.
But by the way, out of curiosity, can I ask something?
God.
How many people caused billions of damage because of anything Alex Jones or Trump said?
Nobody. How many people caused massive damage because people like Elizabeth Warren went out
or Maxine Waters
and Maxine Waters, and they told them to go out and AOC, and they told them to go out there and destroy
and get
cities.
In people's faces and
get
don't
in people's faces,
leave people alone.
Destroy shit.
That's bullshit, Sam.
Millions. It was millions upon millions of dollars.
It was like $1.2 billion worth of property damage.
Yes, there was over $1 billion of damage in the summer of love.
What was broken in January 6th? A window. That was it.
They did take a shit on one of their desks and stuff like that. So there was some damage.
So unless the desk is made of like fine oak, it's not going to cost like $5,000. Probably cost more money to fix a window because it'd be public money.
But the reality is that, no, there was the amount of damage that was done during the summer of love that was promoted directly by Maxine Waters and AOC and Elizabeth Warren and the likes of all of them directly. And what's Cory Booker and all of them directly supported by all of these people. in public statements where they said directly to go out and riot. That's fine, apparently.
Yeah, and the politicians actually got them off.
Yeah, they weren't held
Using
to any
taxpayers'
standard.
money.
Whereas Trump was accused of inciting insurrection for saying peacefully protest.
I mean, you've never heard of Sam Harris?
None of us are confused by the dichotomy here. That when Trump said peacefully protest and then told them to go home when things were getting too insane, no, not one of the Democratic leaders who incited violence during the Summer of Love ever at any point told those people to go home and stop. Not at any point. Not a single one of them did. So I'm sorry, it's not analogous. Continue, please, if you wouldn't mind, Spoon.
Violated this terms of service as written. I think they violated any coherent terms of service that Twitter should have had, right? Like you shouldn't knowingly be able to turn your mob on a private citizen and ruin their lives through doxing, right? Which is what Jones and Trump were doing. It just
who did Trump dox?
Who did Trump dox? Nobody. In fact,
who did Alex Jones dox?
They doxed the fucking Supreme Court justices.
Like what? I'm confused. Can someone tell me who did Alex Jones and Trump dox?
Nobody. The left doxed all the Supreme Court justices who they thought would vote against Roe v. Wade. And they showed up in front of their houses with massive amounts of people to intimidate them, to intimidate SCOTUS. So excuse me, Sam, what the fuck are you talking about?
I have no idea who the hell he's talking about.
Because he's making shit up. That's what's happening. Sorry, I'm getting a little mad. Go ahead.
Again and again and again to people. Every time.
Oh, multiple times. Okay.
I mean, Jones was doing it with the Sandy Hook parents, right? You literally have...
Okay, so it's the Sandy Hook parents. Let's be clear.
Did he dox
That
them?
was screwed up. He did. Okay, I will be clear about that. That is true. He did technically dox the Sandy Hook parents. That was extremely screwed up of Alex Jones.
Did he do that, or did they do it via Twitter?
It was... people did it around him, as far as I know. Now, I don't know specifically, but I do know that Sandy Hook parents were doxed when Alex was covering that story.
Yeah, but I feel if he didn't tell them to go and dox him directly, it's not his fault.
Well, I don't know if he did it directly or not anymore, so I actually don't have the information on that, if he did or not. If he did, that's incredibly scuffed, and
yeah.
Alex,
but if it doesn't have anything to do with
wrong.
Twitter, then Twitter shouldn't kick him off.
Wrong.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's terribly, terribly wrong if he did do that. And I completely disavow that behavior if he did. I don't think he did, though, but I could be incorrect. If anyone in the chat knows, please let me know.
But Sam, you're conflating two very different people. I mean, Alex Jones does not belong in this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in Alex Jones right now.
But I would dispute that. I think Trump is essentially, we got Alex Jones as president of the United States.
What?
Alex would take that as a giant compliment, by the way.
I'm sure.
Alex's dick would be like huge. She just said that thought that Sam just said to him.
That because Trump was president, that therefore Alex Jones, and let's be clear, I don't know if you know this, Sam, and I'm guessing you don't because apparently you're a freaking moron. Alex Jones had a whole lot of shit to say about Trump because Trump didn't fulfill his promises. Do you know what I mean? Trump didn't do a lot of the things that Alex was hoping that he would do. So this is not correct. The fact that you would say that Alex Jones is Trump is fundamentally insane. It is completely incorrect.
I do think Alex Jones would make a really funny president, though.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. But
that's not a bad person. Like Trump, if you can get Alex Jones as president, oh my god, can you imagine the shit Alex Jones would say as president? Holy shit! I would love to see him in a press. Oh my god, I'm just picturing Alex Jones in a press conference. Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, it'd be very funny.
Oh, that would be the thing. Oh, if I could just have one wish in life, it's like, please just even pretend that Alex Jones was the president of the United States, just to see him in a press conference and just like make the press like lose their freaking minds. It would be the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay. Stephen, I agree with you. Stephen Nizik for 5 says Sam Harris' definition of libertarianism is that censorship must be privatized. Yeah, that appears to be it. That he's fine with censorship.
I don't really mind that, to be honest.
I mind it. Censorship of all types is fucked and scuffed, and I don't agree with it.
No, but like, I don't mind it. That it's more like not censorship in the
Okay,
sense
how
of
about
you
this?
prohibited speech. It's more like of who can join.
How about okay? Here's the problem, Spoon.
You can have like
right?
clubhouses of that.
Hang on. It would be if a private company wants to engage in censorship, that's fine. But the problem is that Twitter and
Or press
YouTube
secretary.
and Google are universal. They are the current public square.
Yeah.
So when they are engaging in censorship, it's not really a private company. It's the public square that is censoring people, and that's not okay.
Yeah, like if anyone can join, that's
Right.
what I'm saying. It's like when it's free for all, then you can't.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I feel it's different if you if it's like a paid service.
Yeah.
Then I can
Slayer-
maybe that's a distinction I'm making. Like if you can join it for free,
Okay,
then yeah. But I feel like if you're paying for it, then yeah, you can afford to discriminate.
I still don't really agree with it, but if you're paying for it, I'm more willing to agree with that. Slayer P3 for $2 says libertarian internet would be open source. Yes, I agree 100%. Jarnegi, who has been a member for 4 months, thank you, Jarnegi, says, can we make social media platform for based folk? I think that's what Truth Social was
Yeah,
supposed
that's kind
to
of what
be.
Trump is trying to do with True Social.
And with Gab and
You can just go on
Getter and
4chan.
stuff. Yeah, you just go on 4chan, honestly. Keza for £5 says, Trump is a PLC, so they are bitches to the state, and Sam should have his mouth sewn shut. Wowee.
It's not that bad.
Ornu for $7.87 said, I had this left for the week. Who is Sam Harris? I've never heard of him. Also, God Emperor first. But if not him, then Hail Yog Sothoth based poop. Sam Harris is... how would you like to describe him? He used to be like a kind of right-wing leaning intellectual.
He was just like anti-crazy left.
Yeah, just an anti-crazy left intellectual, right?
Yes.
But he hates Trump. He has one of the worst cases
Disproportional.
of
Yeah.
he has one of the worst cases of Trump derangement syndrome I have ever seen. His Trump derangement syndrome is out of control. It's insane. Stephen Nizik for another 5 says Twitter was specifically the last Silicon Valley company to ban Alex Jones because he didn't violate the TOS. You are correct, Stephen Nizik. And in fact, they had to kind of work out why they wanted to ban Alex Jones because he had not violated their TOS.
Yeah, because I remember when he was kicked off, like within a couple of days and hours, he was slowly kicked off one by one of each platform. And the fact that it wasn't, the fact that it wasn't done in one huge blow, tell me he did not violate some policy that is universalist among all of them.
Well, Twitter is not supposed to ban you for stuff that you do off website, but obviously, Alex Jones is not the only example.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If that's the case, then he did not do what Sam Harris is accusing him of.
Yes, he didn't do anything on the Twitter platform. Twitter banned him.
Sam, you're full of shit. You're telling porkies.
And Stephen Nizik for another $5. Thank you so much. Said President Alex Jones can put chemicals in the water to make the freaking frogs straight. Let's hope that
I wouldn't put it past him to actually try doing something like
that. Let's get back into this insane conversation.
I don't think they're very different people. I think that it's the same phenomenon in my world. Because just the level of misinformation, disinformation, lying,
Really? Alex Jones? Alex Jones is way more correct than you want to admit.
The most insane thing is that this disinformation campaign, as we find out more and more about COVID, and as COVID is being phased out of being important, remember, guys and gals, that you were lied to for 2 years. And I'm not making it up because all the companies are coming out now and saying, yeah, we just kind of made shit up. So when you talk about lies, Sam Harris, who are you talking about lying? Let's go back into it.
Charlatanism, the conscious fraudulence of everything at scale, and the targeting of individuals with known consequences, right? Like Trump, every time Trump singles out a specific citizen and says, "Look at this jackass who's trying to whatever the claim."
A specific citizen, like who? Like AOC? He's talking about other politicians. He doesn't talk about random regular citizens.
What politician has been hassled like abusively because of Trump?
This is the insane thing. Like he's targeting random citizens. No, he targets other politicians.
Yeah, he makes it specific not to go after the American people. That's kind of his whole his gimmick is only going after the media or
it's this whole thing. So you're
Yes.
lying, Sam. You're lying unless you're just lying. Okay, you're lying.
Would be that is a human sacrifice. We know that person's life is just never the same again because he,
Okay, let me tell you this, Sam.
I have no idea what he's talking about right now, to be honest.
No, he's just saying that the right is canceling people and destroying their lives, which is insane.
It is rubbish,
Sam,
by the way.
Sam, I was a PhD student. I decided to make a YouTube channel. As soon as I was immediately doxxed, I was immediately kicked out of my university because I supported Trump. That's why. By the way,
of his time.
it's because I supported Trump. That's why I was kicked out of my university. Okay.
Really?
So, yeah.
You were
I
kicked out of
wasn't-
university for supporting Trump?
I was called a racist and other things. Yeah, it's all things associated, just as Sam has done right here. So let's be clear: everything he's saying is projection and wrong. Can anyone point me to one example, any example, where a leftist has lost their job for being a leftist? Because it doesn't
Like
exist.
a conservative
by the
company?
way. I don't think it exists. I would love to have.
I don't think that would ever happen
like,
because the left are way
example.
too up their own ass to go near the right willingly.
Also, yeah.
The right is like a leftist kryptonite. If you just bring them near them, they screech autistically.
Kizza for £5 also said, Sam, where were you when Antifa/BLM riots, Kyle Rittenhouse, etc.? Oh, that's right, nowhere because you're a grade A cowardly cunt. Kizza, he's going to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse later. It's nuts.
Yeah, but the fact that
way,
they didn't do it during is Kiz's point.
But I would just really, really like anyone to point to me to an example where someone on the left was fired or lost their job because they were on the left.
James Gunn, apparently.
No, I'm not saying because they did other weird shit. Gunn did other weird shit. I'm saying just because they were on the left. It doesn't exist. It hasn't happened. It doesn't exist. Let's continue.
he's turned tens of millions of morons on that person. And,
This is literally a Hillary Clinton kind of phrasing.
vicious morons on that. I mean, that's the core.
What? When did Trump do this?
Nothing. Never. He's just making shit. He's read insane left-wing media and he's made up a fantasy in his mind. That's what's happened.
Of the Trump phenomenon is
Trump
now
phenomenon?
and has been for many years. I mean, really since the beginning. Since he, certainly since he became the front runner and certainly since he became elected in 2016. It's a personality cult. I mean, it has all the dynamics of a personality cult. These are not reasoning. Yes, there are a few calculated people like Peter Thiel on the margins who have some story as to why they would back him, right? But the core of the cult, which is all,
Wow, this is such
because he said, "Hey, look, let's not get involved in wars. Let's give the middle class a tax break, and let's not do stupid shit on the world stage and get into independence." And he did that, and then the rest of the shit people don't give a crap about, really.
It's complete projection. It's complete projection. That's what this is. It's complete projection.
Sam does not seem to understand that there's plenty of people who do not vote for Trump because he says crazy shit. There are plenty of people who vote for Trump despite him saying crazy shit. I don't know how. I would say that's probably most Trump supporters. There's very few hardcore Trump supporters that like Trump saying crazy off the wall shit. I mean, I'm one of them because I like seeing reactions of people who like him, and also because I get to make content of people who say stupid shit like this. So it makes me money.
I gotta be honest. Sam's
insane.
He's completely disconnected from reality. I'll put it that way.
Do you think he speaks to people outside of intellectual circle? Because I don't think he does.
I haven't been in a proper intellectual circle in 5 years, so I don't know. But I even know that back when I was in the intellectual circle, that they were saying in private that they thought stuff like this was crazy. So I don't know how much that's changed in the last 5 years. But I do not think that Sam represents the intellectual crowd. I think he pretends to represent the intellectual crowd, but I don't think he does. Because I'm telling you that the intellectuals are going to publish certain things because they know it's what they're allowed to publish, but it's not necessarily what they believe because they know that there's only so many things that they can believe, or that they can say that they believe. So that is a problem with it, right? And Sam is just a pure... I'm sorry. Sam Harris is a pure example of Dunning-Kruger.
Oh yeah.
He's just pure Dunning-Kruger. I'm sorry, you are pure Dunning-Kruger, and I don't think Sam's an idiot, but I do think he's Dunning-Kruger.
He thinks he's way smarter than he is. And I don't think he's an idiot, by the way. I think Sam is above average intelligence, but he's still falling into a Dunning-Kruger effect. Kizza for £5 says, Sam, you're talking about Democrat voters and breadtuber fans. Kindly shut up, you disingenuous lying coward. Hitchens would disown you. I think Hitchens probably would disown him at this point.
I actually think Hitchens would also have TDS. In all honesty.
Probably. But yes, is he Dunning-Kruger or a midwit? I don't really know. He's above
Or
average
actually,
intelligence.
no, you know what? I take that back because Hitchens
Yeah?
hated war. I think he would support Trump just for his foreign policy. Which was to not engage and do stupid shit.
If he's able to get outside of the inherent weird hatred of Trump that is based on the social identity around I am a left-leaning person, I am an intellectual, ergo I hate Trump because I'm an intellectual. Because that's what I think that's really where Harris is falling. He falls into I hate Trump because I'm an intellectual, ergo I hate Trump. And he has to then work everything around his cognitive dissonance of I hate Trump. I am a liberal. I'm a left-leaning person, or excuse me, I'm an intellectual and a left-leaning person. Ergo, I hate Trump. And now I have to like work everything else that happens around all of that in a big tapestry of stupidity. And that's where he's at.
I would like to know what Hitchens' perspective would be on Trump, because like Hitchens was in favor of the Iraq War.
Yeah, well,
which was
yeah,
unusual.
it would be because people often are not what they claim to be.
Yeah, but that's like the one thing that Hitchens was like unusually war hockey on was the Iraq War. Wasn't a fan of foreign policy as far as I could tell overall, but you know.
NM190 for 5 says, get on Rekida's stream to talk about this or something. I think a crossover with Aiden and Rekida would be a good show. You know, I've known Rekida for years and years, but I think normally, I'll tell you the truth, NM90. If I messaged Rekida, we probably would be able to chill out, but it is a little bit nerve-wracking to want to go in front of like 20,000 people, which is what Rekida often has, and that's very nerve-wracking.
Why?
If I asked Rekida, because it's scary, but if I asked
it's literally just a number on the screen.
I know. If I asked Rekida, I'm sure it'd be fine. Rekida and I have known each other for like 4 years.
I would go on his screen and talk shit. Like I don't care if it's 20,000 people.
Nick's a lovely guy. He's wonderful, but like I'd feel a little bit nervous. And Steven Nizek from there too says, so Hitchens would have been ostracized. Today, I believe Hitchens would have been ostracized.
I'd probably agree with that. He would.
Yeah. Let's get back into this dumb shit.
Tested with QAnon and
QAnon, of course.
Like, really, yeah, they hold so much power
that nobody cares about.
Yeah, I know, right?
Lie and it's like Trump can do no wrong, right? He's that is so it's. Yeah, I mean,
and now you're telling me Biden can do no wrong.
I hate this because you don't even know who that group of people are. So they're just basically this like essentially an ephemeral movement because they were so short-lived, and no one knows who the hell they were. Like they don't hold any institutional power. It's just rubbish.
Oh my god! Ornu, okay, don't super chat anymore, Ornu. Ornu says, though, I don't need to eat out this week. Ornu, you can eat out this week. You don't have to pay me $20. Holy shit.
Or us.
People aren't lying. They have gone so long without discourse and debate that they can't process new information and have counterpoints anymore. You have to have come across this before. Yes, I have,
true?
Ornu. It's completely true. He has existed in a isolation pod for so long, a vacuum, that he really doesn't know anything. And then Big Chris from there too says, so Obama wasn't a cult of personality, Sam?
Oh my god, wow. Yes he was. Oh
Good
my
point.
lord.
Good point. So apparently Obama, only Trump is a cult of personality, according to Sam.
I think I think Trump is much better as a social cohesive force than Obama. Obama is divisive as fuck. He just does it with a sly hand.
Oh, Obama was just the crazy shit. You just had to accept him, and he was a super cult of personality because it was like, here is the Grand King Obama, and he's the best ever. It was bizarre to me because in 2008,
white people.
Well, in 2008 when he was elected, I was accidentally
given.
He was only elected because he was black. Let's be honest. If he was a white dude, Hillary Clinton would have won.
No.
Like, let's just be real.
Yes, let's be honest. Obama was elected because he was black. Now,
no, Trump is not divisive. The media is divisive.
The crazy thing is, they're like, he was like, the media said it, that he was elected for every other reason besides that he was black. It's not the case. He was elected because he was black. I remember I was in college at the time when Obama was elected, and I will tell you the exact story. I was walking door by door with my little Ron Paul door hangers, and I was hanging my door hangers up. This one group of students came out while I was hanging my door hangers, was like, hey, vote libertarian. And this one, I'm going to be honest, fat girl with like a nose ring in.
So typical
said,
feminist.
How dare you? How dare you? You racist. It's time. It's his time. It's his time. It's time for a black man to be president. Okay, so let's just be clear. Obama was not elected because people liked him. Obama was elected because he was black. I think that's even people
overwhelmingly the case.
I think anybody can be kind of clear about that being the reality. Obama was not elected because people liked him. Obama was elected because he was black. And that completely destroys the entire America's racist narrative. Because if Obama was elected because he was black, then how is America a racist nation?
If you're only selecting them for color.
But I'm saying, how is America a racist nation if that's why people elected him? You know what I mean?
Because they elected him out of pity.
Well, that's a different, I guess, thing. Cold Warmack for $10. Thank you, man. Says, it sounds like he's back in the 2016 mindset, despite Trump having spent 4 years of action that would better represent him than whatever crazy sentence or accusations he's currently latching onto. Yes, exactly.
I literally do not know. I have literally never come across a single person who hates Trump who can actually tell me anything about his policy they dislike. Not one. Every single one.
And he's racist.
Like my go-to for anyone who says this is just define fascism.
They just say he's an orange fascist. Define fascism. And they just scream.
And then they like post crappy memes. I'm like, okay, so this is how you work.
Post crappy memes. Yeah.
Yes.
That shit's insane. I don't have any fucking time for that either. Also, okay, Kissa for another 5 pounds. Kissa, holy shit, thank you. It says Hitchens would be coming in his pants over the Muslim ban.
Yeah, yes, he would actually.
Yes, he would. Also, insert I'm voting for Obama skit from the Boondocks. Play it, Spoon / Aiden. I know what you're talking about, Kissa.
Is it the one where Uncle Ruckus tosses the brick?
Yeah, yes. I imagine so.
Have you seen him talk about? Have any of you guys? Do you guys know the Breakfast Club with?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you know that Uncle Ruckus was on that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the guy who plays Uncle Ruckus went on the show as the character Uncle Ruckus, and he schools the shit out of them. It is this racist character who schools and it's really funny because Charlemagne is getting his ass kicked by a fictional character, and you can tell he's pissed.
Breakfast Club. Oh, the Breakfast Club, the
radio
podcast
show.
Okay.
Yeah. It is so bloody funny because
that's funny.
It's so fucking good.
That's so funny. I remember.
He's not wrong.
I thought you meant the movie, but yeah, like he's so funny on Charlemagne the God's Breakfast Club. It's very, very funny.
I love Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus is one of my favorite characters.
Me too. He's wonderful. Let's try to get.
Do you know what's really funny? Because the people on that show who watch the show are not really fans of the right. They're like overwhelmingly lefties, and everyone in the comment section loves Uncle Ruckus. Everyone is pro Uncle Ruckus.
Everyone loves Uncle Ruckus.
It's
Uncle Ruckus
great.
Is hilarious.
It's fantastic.
All right. Let's try to get through a little bit more of this.
It overlaps 80% with the Alex Jones phenomenon. So I see them as the same problem. I see these are.
That tells me a lot when you see them as a problem. That says more about you.
Yeah, it's obvious. Sorry, let's.
These are, if they're not actually clinically, diagnosable as psychopaths, they're the next best thing. These are people who are so.
Did he just say they're clinically diagnosed as psychopaths?
Yeah, the Alex Jones and anyone who agrees with him is a psychopath.
Oh, I must be crazy then.
Malignantly selfish and.
What?
Okay, let me. All right, can we? We're gonna come down here.
Okay, hold on.
Diagnosis as a psychopath is a very specific diagnosis. It's a very specific and extreme diagnosis. He is just saying,
everyone I don't like is a psychopath. No, they weren't diagnosed with it, but they might as well be. Sam, it's an extreme diagnosis. Psychopathy.
That's basically like an intellectual version of you're a Nazi.
Yes, it is. It's the intellectual version of you are completely correct, Spoon. There you go. It's the intellectual version of you're a Nazi.
So careless with respect to the consequences of their actions in the lives of others.
Or crazy shit one might say on a podcast.
That if you own a platform or you're overseeing a public company that
not
owns
even
a platform.
scroll shit, man.
Sam is a small brain. Stop defending his TDS. Base. I agree with Buddy Lee.
Yeah.
Why should the government force you to keep these people on? Right? Like you should be free to say, sorry, you're not on my watch. Are you going to be having these consequences? And with Trump, it was after January 6th. It was just, that's when it happened. I thought it happened a year too late. But I mean, January 6th finally
real
convinced
quick.
Dorsey he should kick Trump off.
Buddy Lee for $20. Buddy Lee for $20 says Sam is a small brain. Stop defending his TDS. We're not. We're making fun of his TDS, but thank you.
Yeah,
Buddy
we're actually
Lee
saying he's
for
insane.
The $20. He's out of his mind. Thank you, Buddy Lee, though, because he's absolutely he's out of his mind. Let's go through it.
You know, we had at that point we had a sitting president who, for months and months and months, I mean, you know, at least 6 or 8 months, you know, certainly months prior to the November election, would not commit to a peaceful transfer of power. And then he did, you know, certainly something, whether it was everything in his power or just a lot, he managed to see that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, right? And then, you know,
and then the next guy came in and then used that so-called peaceful transfer of power to abuse the living shit out of it and weaponize the IRS.
And now the guy
and virtually
peaceful
and
transfer of power
everything that Trump said was going to happen in his absence has come to pass. It's almost like Trump knew what the hell these people were going to do in his absence.
Yup.
Which sounds like, Trump maybe knows something, and Trump is correct, and Sam Harris is clearly fucking loopy. Let's see, Steven Itzek says, my first experience with the Alex Jones was when he was a guest on Coast to Coast with Art Bell. They talked about Roswell, Atlantis, and the kind of stuff. He isn't a psychopath. He's a teller of tales. Yeah, agreed. I actually quite like listening to Alex Jones, because when he just gets talking, he's entertaining. Also, I like his burly voice.
What's the mob gonna do on January 7th and 8th and 9th?
Nothing, because they're unarmed, you fucking pleb. Again, I said this before. January 6th to me was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because seeing the entire freaking media lose their mind that a bunch of unarmed tiny mob, right, is going to storm the U.S. Capitol unarmed.
That mob.
Hey, let me finish my sentence.
I know, but it's just like.
But the fact that an unarmed group of people are going to stage a bloodless coup successfully against the most militarized nation on earth is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, no, but you should all feel terrified.
It's just so dumb. It's fucking stupid shit.
But we're all supposed to feel absolutely shaking in our boots and terrified that some mom is going to come to your house with her little flag and be there. Yes. How dare she, I guess.
January 6th was the world's this greatest LARPing event. It just is. I don't care what anyone says. Like, anyone who says that they were actually going to do something is just stupid as shit.
You know, if you just leave
Dude, my mom was there, by the way, you know that?
Yeah.
She wasn't in.
January 6th was the worst planned coup with no weapons. Yeah, it's true.
She didn't go inside any of the buildings. My mom didn't do anything to get in super trouble, but she was there at January 6th to just witness it. And what my mom told me about it is that it was like it was like people being walked through a tour that she saw in front of her. They were being walked through a tour of their own house, by the way, that they pay for, people's house. And now that's supposed to be the greatest threat to American security in all of its 250 years, 300 years. Yeah.
The funniest thing I saw, there was a picture that Norm Macdonald put up, and it was just the people of January 6th.
Norm Macdonald's dead.
Yeah, but he was still alive and stuff, for fuck's sake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was just the mob walking between the velvet ropes, and he just like, that's January 6th. It wasn't crazy people. It was a mob walking peacefully through the velvet ropes. Like, yeah, that is the kind of people you're talking about. Just so polite. Like, it's not at all this crazy mob story.
I mean,
like, it's just like, it's just.
If If it was fucking BLM, you think they would have walked through your velvet ropes?
No, it would have been smeared with bullets and bricks.
They would have shot everything up. They would have destroyed the entire thing. And that's the reality is that we live in this insane backwards reality where where people can try to justify this kind of garbage and then say, oh, the United States, our democracy, our grand, beautiful democracy is under attack. And people walk peacefully, for the most part, through the Capitol building. The only person who was killed was a fucking woman who was protesting. Ashley Babbitt.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget her name. They want you to forget her name. They want to erase her from history and claim that that some Capitol police officer got killed. No, he didn't. He died of a heart attack 2 days later. Jesus Christ.
On the platform.
Ashley Babbitt was killed. Go ahead.
Very simple decision to kick him off, and it totally analogous to the Alex Jones decision. I mean, Alex Jones is just less consequential, but I mean, there are Sandy Hook parents who have had to move 10 times since their kids were murdered. That's all on Alex Jones, right? And it's
well, that's fucked up. By the way, I don't agree with that. He could see the
consequences of his actions in real time. It's not like he woke up after 5 years and thought, "Oh my God, I can't believe that it was totally inadvertent. I released a podcast, and then it had this totally unforeseeable consequence in the lives of these grieving parents." No, he monetized their misery.
Can you pause for a second? Pause for a second. Just for 1 second. Okay, what Alex Jones did in terms of accusing the Sandy Hook parents of being crisis actors is disgusting. And he was wrong for doing that, okay? At the same time, that kind of shit happens to people on the right every single fucking day. And it has happened every day for the last, at this point, 7 years, okay? Of being accused of being a terrorist, of being accused of being whatever. What Alex Jones did was wrong. It doesn't mean that you're allowed to fight back, quote unquote, by doing the same shit towards people on the right. Let's just make that clear. Could you continue, Spin? Sorry.
Can I just make a controversial point?
Obviously.
With regards to the shit that Alex Jones said because he thinks it was staged, you can't help but look at what happened in Texas with Uvalde and think like Alex doesn't have a point.
I'm not going to make any statements about that.
But you can kind of see the crossover.
Okay, hang on. I would say what happened in Uvalde seems like it was funded by the feds, because how else did that guy get access to the guns that he had?
Yeah.
Uvalde it stinks of
monetized
feds.
Misery is never the news starts.
It absolutely stinks of feds. And here's the thing, guys. If you don't think that the federal government is involved in a whole bunch of school shootings and stuff like that, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
they absolutely are.
Yeah. So when I looked at that, I'm like, Alex might actually have a point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they do all of them, but the
I'm not saying that was the case, but it definitely looks some shady shit.
They've made direct statements where they've indicated that they know that when that when shootings happen, it changes how elections work. Okay,
I can make a point on a spoon. I can hit you over the head and make a mark on your forehead. There's a point. Mm. Or I can just flip the ladle and just poke you with it. Boink.
Blizzard of lies.
Yeah, Alex Jones is, for me, a different case. But I hear what you're saying.
I think Trump is just...
I hear what you say. In your mind, they're similar.
He got the reputation washing of having successfully become president. He's Alex Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell he got... I don't know how the hell he got to that conclusion. That was bizarre.
It's completely insane. Trump is Alex Jones because he got elected. That was his rationale.
Francis, before you...
I actually think of Sam Harris less. Thanks to this interview, which I thought was pretty low as it is.
Oh, this is awful. This is completely dumb. Yeah.
A little boy has to put dressed as your family of firearms.
Steven Nizek for $10 says, my first experience with Alex Jones was when he was a guest on Coast to Coast with Art Bell. He talked about Roswell, Atlantis, and that kind of stuff. He isn't a psychopath. He's a teller of tales. I gotta tell you, Steven, Alex Jones has some weird beliefs, but Alex Jones knows what the hell he's talking about. He really does.
Yeah. I'd like to get Alex on the show if I could ever do that. That'd be fun.
Oh my god. Dude, you don't understand, Spoon, how much I would love to just hang out with Alex Jones for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, because he's fun.
He's awesome.
I'd like to get him drunk.
Yeah, or have him smoke weed. That would be amazing. And that's what
There was an Alex Jones. Alex tried to constantly get Joe right.
That's what Joe Rogan's done with him. It's been like, hey, Joe Rogan, you're weird. Did I reread chat? Sorry.
Yes.
And then Kizza for £5 says, I think what the media is afraid of is if the far right was armed and went like Doom Guy in hell, they know they won't win that battle. All right. Yeah, I agree.
I think they would probably get a preemptive strike on, yeah.
Yeah, probably true. Sorry if I reread chat. We'll continue.
Before you move us into COVID, let me try from a ritual point.
Yeah.
Right? Do you really want to live in the country?
I should go on Friday night fights and go there from time to time. I don't think we get an invite. That's probably the reason why.
Friday Night Tights?
Yeah.
I could just ask for an invite to Friday Night Tights.
Well, there we go then.
Where you have a digital public square, which in my opinion Twitter is. We can disagree about that if you want, but that's my opinion. It's a digital public square. And you have a company that has clearly one-sided enforcement. I hear what you're saying about delegitimizing the electoral process that Trump did,
Right.
and I was concerned about that.
Yeah, because screaming Russia, Russia, Russia every day for 4 fucking years didn't do the same bloody thing.
Very true.
I hate this because
they're trying to be fair. They're trying to be fair.
No, hold on. No.
He's nuts.
No.
Okay.
The reason this pisses me off is because Democrats have contested every fucking Republican win since Bush versus Gore. So this idea of the Republicans are the one undermining the election is just such a crock of shit.
Yep, let's be clear about this, guys. The Democrats have claimed that every single
Stacey Abrams said the same thing.
Every single election that Republicans have won since Bush has been fake.
Yeah.
And that every single
every election since this entire century.
Yeah, that every single election since this entire century for the last, 20 years, any one that Republicans have won has been fake and has been
Very true.
and has been a part of a Republican conspiracy. But when Democrats win, it's always, of course,
above board,
completely above the board.
Yeah.
Just be aware that these are the people that you're talking about. They're liars. Okay.
Yeah, it's just bullshit.
I think you can't question it. But when you see that he gets banned, and then a story about Hunter Biden gets banned, that under the guise of it being Russian disinformation, we later learn it wasn't Russian disinformation.
Which anyone with an ounce of common sense could tell it was fucking true.
That to a lot of people
this part's
seems
amazing.
like, I said it when we were talking to Joe Rogan, it's putting your hand on the scales in favor of one side. In the digital public square, you add that to the banning of Trump and lots of other people being banned from one side predominantly.
Right.
Is that the world you want to live in, where one team gets to just ban people it disagrees with off the platform? It gets to pretend that things that are true are not true. It gets to shut down the sharing of information with people who want to make their own democratic choice?
Well, it's a hard question, and there are pieces of the question that
it's not. It's really easy. It's just no.
It's not a hard question, Sam. If you truly believe in freedom and liberty, you would say no. It's not a hard question. You shouldn't want to fucking control information and what people can see because it might not suit your side. But we're going to see what Sam Harris has to say here, and that he's going to say, actually, no, it is a complicated question in that, and what he really means is that he wants people to not be able to speak if they don't agree with him.
Laptop story is something that I still don't have a full opinion about. I actually don't know what we should have done about it.
You should have let it run the course because the story was fucking true, you twat.
Yes, let people know the truth, but no, because of course not.
So I see the reason. I see both sides of it. I can argue.
There's no both sides. There's no both sides. There are no two sides to the Biden laptop story. Did it exist or not? Was it a real thing or not? So he's just saying, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't let people see that. Why? Under what comprehension, under what paradigm would you say it's not cool for people to know the fucking truth? Oh,
because we have to get rid of Mean Orange Man.
I know under what paradigm that you would not want people to know the truth. It's because you want to get rid of your political freaking rival. That's not democracy, by the way. Let's just be clear. That's not democracy, because you're not letting people know the truth. And we know from the MRC data that if people knew the truth, they would not have voted for Joe Biden. But doesn't matter to Sam Harris. Let's listen to his fucking explication, though, as to why it's okay to lie to the American people.
So let's leave that piece aside. The bias on the platform. So either Twitter is a company that can do what it wants, right? It can have its own terms of service. It can change its policies. It can change. It can decide to. It can have a point of view or not, right? Or we have to seize it as some kind of crucial piece of public infrastructure that has to.
Do you not think that it is?
No. It's just about not lying. You banned Trump. You banned information spreading on Twitter. That's the problem.
Hold on, let's hear
what Constantine has to say.
Is it a crucial piece of public infrastructure?
I think people who are addicted to Twitter feel it is. Right. Most, and I think it's, I don't think it should be. And it's odd to say that it's just so. First of all, it's just. I mean, Facebook is much bigger, right? It's just that we have a lot of smart people, journalists.
Facebook is bigger in that it has more people on it, but it has less active users. I'm just saying. Sorry, I just wanted to put that out.
Brands, political people, concentrated on Twitter. So Twitter moves the conversation more than Facebook does, but it's the scale of it is much smaller. I don't know. I just feel like people can start their own companies, which they have, right? They can start competitors to Twitter. There are many people who, Twitter is not. It's still a failing business, right? It's like it's not. It doesn't work really. And Facebook is a much better business. There's nothing stopping Facebook from becoming stickier for intellectuals and journalists, and it's attracting more of the conversation over there. I don't know. It's an extreme move to say you can't be biased, right? Like who's going to say that? But behind the saying of that,
that's not what they're saying,
law,
though.
In the end. And therefore it's a gun. Therefore it's jail time for the person who wants to keep breaking the law. Right? So like just imagine if the Twitter board, like everyone gets what they want. Everyone who's of this opinion gets what they want. We're gonna come in and enforce something like a zero bias state in Twitter insofar as that's possible. And if the employees and the board just say, sorry, we have a point of view. We don't like these people and we like these people.
That's where you're at right now, Sam.
What? So now you just break up the company? You just say, I mean, I thought what I thought it should have happened with Twitter is I thought Jack Dorsey should have deleted it. I mean, I literally thought he would have got the Nobel Peace Prize had he just.
That's probably the most base thing he said.
Yes,
actually, to be honest.
Yeah, he should have
deleted it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I've been following the research on Twitter for literally over 10 years now, and yeah, Twitter is completely negative. There is no positive psychological effect of Twitter whatsoever in any research that I've seen whatsoever. So no, yeah, probably he should have deleted it. Dorsey should have deleted it, but whatever. But that's not actually how Sam feels. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. So in any case, should they be forced to be impartial? I'm very skeptical of that. Should they be cajoled by unhappy people like yourselves or like
or the state?
Unhappy people like yourselves. He's just saying that anyone who has any issue with the current system is just an unhappy person. That's what he's saying. You're a bunch of miserable shits. That's what he's saying about the trigonometry hosts, right? About Constantine and I'm sorry, what's the other guy's name? Francis. They're just unhappy. Well, do you know why they might be unhappy, Sam? Because they're not allowed to have free speech. Only you are. And you're only allowed to have free speech because you agree with the leftist narrative and paradigm. And Sam, the second that you move away from it, it's gone for you. It's gone for you.
Yeah, the Trump fans to
Trump fans.
Putting the counter argument.
Yeah,
Sam.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, yes, I think.
Yeah, oh my God, you Trump fans! Oh, it makes me.
What did he just say to them? Or
he called them Trump. He called them Trump
fans.
No.
What did?
You go back.
Yeah.
Or should they be forced to be impartial? I'm very
I wanna hear
skeptical of that.
they
Should
said
they
to
be
him.
cajoled by unhappy people like yourselves or like the Trump fans to behave
I'm just putting
better?
a counter argument here,
Yeah,
Sam.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, yes, I think if they were going to be,
That's it.
the first thing to admit is
He just said that you're mad because you were the people who were whose free speech was curtailed.
I feel like
Get over it, nerd.
I feel like if they had any kind of reverence for Sam Harris, you can just see it in their body language. They are not impressed with where this is going.
Oh, because he just told them to go fuck themselves, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the way, I should be clear.
Yeah, France is not a Trump fan, and even his face is like,
Yes.
I don't like where this is going. This is really
The
stupid.
trigonometry guys are not like Trump fanboys or anything.
No, I think
So,
Francis is not, but I think Constantine is a Trump fan.
It's still insane though that he's been like
People
it
who are
just
unhappy,
shows that
like-
where we're at with the left is that they just think that they're allowed to destroy your freedoms as
Yeah, they think
all
Trump
of
is an
them.
existential threat.
Yes, because
There's
of
no
Trump.
evidence of that, but
Keza for another £5. Hey, Keza, thank you so much, man. Says Twitter and Facebook's terms of service are worthless. They're both guilty of aiding terrorism and spreading CP. That is true.
that is actually true. So.
Yeah. So would Sam be okay with the states destroying them? I don't know. I probably would guess not, because I think Sam is okay because Twitter and Facebook spread his political ideology.
Well,
Let's
he
see
did
if I
say
can-
Twitter should be deleted, so he probably
That's
would be
true, but
neutral, yeah.
I don't think he really meant that. Do you think he really meant that?
Yeah, I don't think why he would lie.
Well, we'll see. He did say that.
He's pretty blunt
Did
about
he
his
get-
craziness, so
I think Twitter should be deleted as well, to be fair, but we'll see.
is it may be impossible to do this impeccably,
Mhm,
right? It's like until we have perfect artificial
4chan seems to be doing it all right.
intelligence, it's just going to be impossible to be.
We had this a couple of years prior when social media was smaller. It's only because the media amped the shit out of it that it got to this point. So I don't think the social media platform are to blame. I think the media is to fucking blame. The social media is just a battleground where it takes place.
Very true.
Thank you.
Truly
I have
consistent with
smart
your
points
terms of
sometimes.
service, because you're always going to be able to find the example of the thing that was not appropriately moderated.
Yes, but if we all know that if that laptop was Donald Trump's Jr.,
Oh yeah,
this would be
100%.
treated.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
Oh yeah.
about,
Well,
right?
so
It's funny. He's like, oh yeah, but he doesn't actually understand. If the laptop was Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop, he's like, oh yeah.
So you are
But we're
admitting
gonna
you're
get-
just wanting to silence your political rival.
But hang on, we're gonna get into how he thinks that actually you should not look at all. Even though he just said there that if the laptop was Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop, it would be a big deal. He's going to say here in the near future that we shouldn't look at all at the fact that Hunter Biden's laptop was full of insane shit.
but so let's take that piece. I think it was totally appropriate to view Trump to be existing in a domain that was orthogonal to partisan politics. My criticism of Trump is totally nonpartisan, right?
No, it's
Are
really
you
not.
out of your mind?
He says orthogonal, meaning that it's outside. What he means is it's outside of partisan politics, but you are still being partisan politics.
You are smoking crack, Sam. Your perception of Trump is uber partisan.
Yeah, he's saying his is not. That is insane. That's not. It's
You're
not
a typical
orthogonal.
Democrat.
I'm sorry.
I've
look,
never seen Sam mention any policy that he disagrees with Trump on, like at all.
It's
Not even one.
Dude, like it's really funny that he uses the word orthogonal, right?
And yes, I say
word.
nani. Funny
He
word.
uses that word because he knows that it's a word that most people don't understand. It makes him to make himself sound more intelligent. Orthogonal means diagonal from it, essentially, right? That he's away from it. It doesn't help, Sam. I'm not one of the idiots that you think you're talking to. And by the way, nobody here in this chat is one of the idiots you think you're talking to. We all understand what orthogonal means. That it means that you're not part of it.
I'm amazed these guys are able to keep a straight face, because my
I
face
know.
would not be stone faced. I would look at it
Oh,
like this motherfucker's out of his mind if he thinks he can say that with
I
a straight
know.
face.
I know. Spoon, I know.
There's literally nothing I say about Trump that I could say about any other Republican, right? And I think Liz Cheney is a total hero, right? So
I'm sorry. I have to go back to that. What
in a domain that was orthogonal to partisan politics. My criticism of Trump is totally nonpartisan, right? There's literally nothing I say about Trump that I could say about any other Republican, right? And I think Liz Cheney is a total hero.
You
right?
are
Okay,
you are a psychopath.
we gotta stop. Okay, so
Sam.
it must be very clear that the one woman he brings up, the one Republican, and I'm putting that in like 1,000 quotes, Liz Cheney, who's been kicked out of the Republican Party because she is not a Republican. That's the one Republican that he gives
The one who just got beat
praise
the
to?
fuck out of.
Because
by
she's
Hagman in
not a
Wyoming.
Republican. Yes, orthogonal's not diagonal. I know it's 90 degrees. It's look, I know. I'm no pants, baby. I'm trying to describe orthogonal to.
I'm sorry, but thinking Liz Cheney is a hero, that
No,
tells me everything I need to know about just how fucking partisan you are.
Do I have to now explain how orthogonal distance relates?
My
I was
God,
I was trying to be simplistic. No pants, baby, my dude. Anyway, Stephen Nizik for $2 says Sam Harris thinks people don't have dictionaries. Sam Harris apparently thinks people don't have any knowledge whatsoever.
Well, in fairness, Sam Harris does not have a mind, so.
This is nuts. He thinks everyone around him apparently is a retard. And there's no other way I can describe it. That he thinks everybody is retarded except for him. And this is extremely offensive. I would say this is an extremely offensive interview. That he thinks the people in front of him are retards. He thinks everyone listening is a retard.
I don't know how is Liz Cheney a hero?
Well, Liz Cheney's a hero because she's fighting against Trump.
Ugh, fuck off, Sam, you moron.
I'm
hoping Styx talks about this tomorrow. I want to hear his take.
Yeah, let's listen to more of this.
Agree with her politics at all, right? Like Liz Cheney is a religious maniac by my lights, right? And in that,
how is she a hero then, but also a religious maniac? This is going off the rails.
Because he didn't give a shit. He's just making shit up.
Orthogonal means
kind of
intersecting rather than parallel. So Sam means he just happens to agree with the left on this point. Not that I'm buying it.
That's what, orthogonal. Yeah. Thank you, Forbidden Cat Belly. But yeah, that's true. But
here's some money for the scalp with Liz Cheney.
I actually don't think that Sam understood orthogonal in terms of what it would actually mean in terms of intersection. I don't think he necessarily understood that word. Also, DRT is king for another $2. Says here's some money for the scalp of Liz Cheney. Let's make fun of Liz Cheney some more. Let's go. Figure
like the old me who was just worried about the Christian theocracy in the United States,
as opposed to the older you that you are now.
Well, dude, like this guy.
That was a clever joke. What I just said. That was very clever.
Okay, be aware that Sam Harris at one point was very concerned with Christian theocracy. He thought that the big problem in America was Christians. Do you think the problem in America right now are Christians?
No, I think godless heathens, fucking maniacs is the problem, not Christians.
If you could, Lance for $5 says if you could see Sam's D&D stats, you would see he probably has a wisdom of 14 to 16, or excuse me, intelligence of 14 to 16 and a wisdom of 2. Oh my god. Hang on.
Is that a nerd reference?
Yes, it is. Let me ask a question really quickly. Let me go ask my husband, who is a DM. One sec. Hey, Bill. Can I ask you a question? Okay. Let's say that Sam Harris has an intelligence of, let's say, 15. He's got a wisdom of 2.
IQ is roughly analogous to intelligence times 10.
Okay, so Sam Harris is saying dumb things in an interview. What do you think is the what do you think is the percentage that he's correct about anything that he says when his intelligence is 15 and his wisdom is 2?
Well, intelligence is usually learned.
Intelligence is learned.
If gathering information, so observed in Nation.
Wait,
is
Bill, come
wisdom
up here. Come up here to tell the chat.
I will state this: the people who try and game real life have got some serious screws loose.
Okay.
However, I'm about to do just that.
Yeah.
Wisdom is used to qualify, gather information and perception, which is any gained knowledge by observation, which is the method.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas,
so he's
referenced knowledge and book knowledge runs and intelligence, which governs the knowledge skills, which govern memorized pre-existing knowledge.
So let's say that he's rolling to be able to understand. In particular, what were you even talking about in this entire fucking instance?
That's a very good question.
Oh, so what he's talking about here is hang on, let me put my headphones on. What is he even talking about here again?
Who's Sam Harris?
Sam Harris. What's he even talking about in this conversation?
Well, right now about Trump.
Oh, about Trump. So was Trump a good or bad president? How about that? His intelligence is 15. His wisdom is 2. He's rolling on this.
I don't think he even knows what makes a good president.
Yeah, I know. Bill's about to answer the question. Should I roll?
This is deeply autistic.
I know it's deeply autistic, but it's funny.
Is it though?
It's kind of funny.
You are cringe.
No, Bill, answer the question. Don't walk away.
I like Bill. Bill is good people.
Bill, don't walk away. It is.
Intelligence would just be the reference, established material. It's made from bad sources. You're only going to find out more bad error carried forward. Simple as.
All right. So is he gonna succeed on a intelligence roll about
his
Trump?
wisdom is 2. He's barely conscious. In fact, he's got a observational skill of sub-animal. He is a fucking amoeba.
To be fair, I think that does. This is Sam Harris we're talking about.
Blind.
We're asking the question about Sam Harris.
I'll put it this way: for reference, a wisdom of 10 is found in animals. Int of 2 is a literal animal.
Wait. He's got a wisdom of 2 and int of 14.
So he's a badger. You're trying too hard to include me in this. I don't want any part of it. You think I actually keep stats? Are you fucking delusional? I roll the dice for the noise.
All right, very cool. Thank you, Bill.
I disavow. Never include me in this bullshit again.
He's walked away.
Good.
He's gone. So let's continue. Well, there you go, guys. And
I like the way you just said badger.
The stats of the stats of Sam Harris. Let's continue.
Revolted at everything she would
I'm
attempt to
revolted
implement as
at
a
you,
politician.
to be fair,
But
Sam Harris.
At this moment, she has no bigger fan than me.
Oh my god, you just admitted you're a simp for Cheney.
Dude,
Sam,
weird.
you are
so
the most
weird.
Disgusting excuse for intellectual I've ever seen just based on that single statement.
I mean, and I you know me. I'm an intellectual. That's saying something.
You're smarter than him.
That's not hard to do, my dude.
Because of how she's dealing with the Trump phenomenon. The Trump phenomenon is not a matter of political partisanship.
Yes, it is.
He's just a sui generis phenomenon, and it's.
No, he isn't. He's going to be a lasting phenomenon.
No, the Trump phenomenon is entirely political partisanship.
Yes, it is. It's a blowback against your stupid lefty Democrat shit, Sam. It's not hard to see.
Again, it's analogous to having elected Alex Jones president of the United States.
No, it isn't.
My God,
Alex
my
Jones would have been
God.
way more based than Trump.
Yeah, to be honest.
But it's a
complete
not a matter
nonsense.
of his, I probably agree with half of his policies, or more than half of his policies. It's not a matter of policy.
Yeah, that's the fucking point. You don't mention a policy, which is the point of the fucking presidency, you twat.
Because you don't care about any of it. It's all about your weird fucking I'm a conservative, but I'm really not.
Okay, but this is the bit I don't get. If you agree with most of Trump's policies, what did he do personally that is so freaking bad? But you like Cheney more, even though you disagree with her on policy-wise.
Liz Cheney's insane.
I don't get what your hatred is if you.
No.
I don't. No. Just run with it. How can you say you hate Cheney, who you have no you have nothing in common with policy-wise, but you agree with Trump more because he has policies you do like. I don't understand.
It's nonsensical because
I don't understand the logic behind that reasoning at all.
Because here's the thing: ultimately, Sam Harris is just trying to align with people based on what he thinks will make him money. I think. Do you agree with me? Because I think that's the thing.
I have no idea. I think he's just brain fried.
He might just be brain fried, but I think that Sam Harris is trying to do things that he thinks will make him the most money. He follows.
This is not a good thing, by the way.
He's trying to follow what will make him money. That's not a good idea.
This will not make you money, by the way. This will make you look like a twat.
Well, people are not happy. By the way, I've seen all over Twitter all day today clips from this interview of people making fun of him. So go ahead.
Because it's a really stupid thing to say. That's
because everything he said is dumb.
Someone said, since boss wisdom is an intuition, common sense, intelligence is book smart, learned info,
Yes.
A2 wisdom is 6 to any WIS skill. Jesus fucking Christ, Bill, I don't even DM.
The DM just walked upstairs and gave his opinions, but go ahead and play this dumbass.
It's a matter of having someone who's totally unfit to have power be given more power than any person in a generation.
Why? You just said you agree with his policies. Why should you not have power? What has he done to damage it via the power structure?
Nothing. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, so you're just full of shit, Sam.
He's full of shit.
And he's unfit for in every possible way. It's not that he's just got a few screws loose. Like every screw is loose. Every screw that you would want totally cranked down is loose or non-existent in him.
I have no fucking idea what he's even talking about. This is just so vague and crap.
Yeah, he's just making shit up. Go ahead.
And so, yeah. So
intellectuals are glorified idiots, and you're not one of them. We're all experts in the field of ripping apart leftist narratives. Yeah, to be fair, leftist narratives. To be fair, the biggest ripper of leftist narratives are the left themselves because they don't have any sense.
I am unfortunately an intellectual, and I think he's a moron. So, oh well. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell me that like, are you? Well, that's what they always use. Like, oh, like you don't really have a master's degree. I do actually. You weren't really in a PhD program. Actually, I was, and you can look all this shit up. It's not hard to fucking figure out.
Are you parroting Adam right now?
I'm just saying, like, well, yeah, that's what I basically get. I'm not trying to be rude to Adam, although holy shit,
you should be because Adam's an asshole.
I didn't know how much they got in trouble with Christian and having Christian on their show. As we had Christian
we were a lot nicer, yeah. Yeah, because we have more patience.
No, it's not that we were just nicer. It's just that Christian was a very lovely guest.
Well, and we are nicer people than Adam and Sage.
I can't imagine like yelling at Christian, who's like one of the most polite people I've ever spoken to. I can't imagine getting into a fight with him. Who's extremely intelligent. We saw last night when we spoke with Christian that he's an incredibly intelligent.
Yeah, he's definitely well read.
Human being. Yes, he's incredibly more well read than I think I am.
In terms of us, or most people that I know, for that matter.
On political philosophy.
You can read Spinoza at 21. You definitely got some brains.
Yeah, I've read Spinoza, but I don't like Spinoza's. I don't like Spinoza's
writing style.
No, I like not his writing style. I don't like his conclusions. So that's different. But that being said, even though I've read Spinoza, we had a very intelligent person on last night who Adam and Sitch, I think, did not really respect his intelligence. But that's a different situation. Let's go back into this.
So that's my argument. So my argument is that it was appropriate for Twitter and the heads of big tech and the heads of journalistic organizations to feel that they were in the presence of something like a once-in-a-lifetime moral emergency, right? Whereas this is not the same thing as not liking George Bush, or not liking John McCain, or not liking Mitt Romney for their politics. This was, here's a guy who is capable of anything, right? He's not ideological, but he's a black hole of selfishness, right? He's just, and so there's no telling what he's going to do. And we cannot afford to have 4 more years with this guy, right? And so...
do you think you can have 4 more years with the current apparatus now? I'm going to go with no. Most people would prefer Trump, because he wasn't driving the country into fucking bankruptcy. You stupid asshole, Sam.
So what should well-intentioned people do who have a lot?
Well-intentioned people. That is a dangerous fucking phrase. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
A lot of power in these various ways. You know, you're running the New York Times, you're running CNN, you're running Twitter. What should they
tell the truth, and then people can make their own decisions? You fucking arrogant bastard.
Aspire to do.
Admit that it's their fault.
Conditions. What was that?
Oh my God! Admit that it's their fault. God damn, Francis, a home run.
Admit that Trump is their fault. And look, I'm someone from the left.
Absolutely. That's the perverse.
Trump is not their fault.
Thing. It's totally their fault. CNN gave us Trump. Right? Well, no, before CNN gave us Trump.
No, Barack Obama gave you Trump.
Mark Burnett gave us Trump. I mean, if there's one person who could have not done what he did and could have closed the door to this whole phenomenon, it was Mark Burnett. But yeah, no, by giving him the attention, you know, but he was great ratings, you know, for a year, for the whole run up to the 2016 election. Oh yeah, no one has clean hands here. But at the 11th hour, when
he has such a fucking arrogant elitist view right now. Like, his entire worldview is just dripping with arrogance. Of just, oh, we know better. And therefore we can do whatever the hell we like and prevent people from getting elected. Like, you sound like a big state fucking simp right now, you glowing fat boy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like, yeah, I know better than everybody else, so I'll tell you how to do shit. It's insane, right?
Who knows how this election is going to go? Who knows what the capacity for, you know, disinformation at the...
What did he do that has earned you this fucking derangement syndrome? You asshole.
Last minute to tip the balance is...
I really want to follow Sam on Twitter now just when Trump gets reelected so I can troll him.
Then what do you...
I mean, it'd be funny as fuck, right?
Also,
do...
Kizza, we've been on Adam and Such a So twice, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've been on Adam and Such a Show twice.
I mean, the last time I was on there, Sargon said I was roasting everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I basically just made the point that the U.S. empire is fucking evil and America does dumb shit on the world stage, which is objectively true. And Sargon agreed with that. And then later on when Sargon was on the show, and Sargon said Americans are ignorant for a reason, and Adam just said, like, oh, don't go down the spood route. And Sargon just said, yeah, but he's right and you're wrong. I'm like, thank you, Sargon, for vindicating me against the fucking Yanks. He's like, it is the most cringe thing in the world listening to you people talk about liberal democracy. Like, thank you. Because the idea that Ukraine would be liberal is just fucking absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd. Slayer P3 for 2 says SH is a computer chip. Forbidden Cat Belly for 5 says, if I can say Sam knows what orthogonal means.
That's the reason. That reason right there. Yeah. Trump didn't kiss the intelligentsia's ring. That's the fucking reason I hate him.
Absolutely. That's really why.
That is the perfect sentence so far of the stream. Is that one sentence is absolutely true.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. He's like Nixon. Didn't even fuck with intellectuals.
Exactly. I can't say if Sam knows what orthogonal means, but he's using it because he wants to be Christopher Hitchens. He uses it a bunch. Rip Hitchens, by the way. Oh, you're probably right, Cat Belly, that he's using the word orthogonal because he just heard Christopher Hitchens using it without understanding exactly what orthogonal means. Stephen Nazek for 2 says, a quid for the Aiden Hubby Fund. Thank you. Minnesota Fats for $5 says that boss wisdom is intuition / common sense. Intelligence is book smarts / learned info. A 2-wiz is a -6 to any wisdom chat. Jesus fucking Christ, Bill. I don't even DM. Okay, do you need me to like go and yell at him about that?
Aiden, I read that out like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, my bad. Kissa for a
You've done this like 6 times now.
Excuse me. Kissa for 5 minutes. Aiden, intellectuals are glorified idiots. You're not one of them. We're all experts in the field.
Yes, I read that out too.
Narratives. And Kissa for 5 says, Aiden / Finn, I would make an Adam / Sitch. I would make Adam / look stupid on their show. Also, Sam Trump left poorer compared to everyone else. Stop lying, Trump boy.
Also, no, I can say this. Adam and Sitch have a loyal following of fucking morons Because even when Sargon was in the chat and just schooled the shit out of them on Russia, the amount of people who called who called Sargon stupid was insane.
It was insane.
I was reading to like,
honest.
what in the fucking hell are you people talking about? Okay, so this is just a partisan thing for you fucking people. It doesn't matter. Like, you can't see sense on this. So it was very much a case of like Sargon, Aiden, and I, our position was, this is America's fault because NATO was childish and you push US military forces right up to Russia's border. And of course they were going to react badly because you were told for like 30 fucking years, this is how Russia is going to react. And you just said, fuck you, we'll do it anyway. So
I'm not drunk, by the way, guys. I was smoking a cigarette for like 5 minutes, so that's why. If I'm rereading accounts, that's why. Sorry, I was a little bit away for like a minute. And then Big Crest for Tube says Adam and Stitch are neo-libs, pretending that they're not. Sorry, I'm not going hard on the juice. I was just away for like 5 minutes smoking cigarettes. I know that smoking cigarettes are gross. Sorry. But I was smoking cigarettes for like 5 minutes.
Smoke a cigar, apparently.
Oh, no. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to sit in my hot tub tonight, right after we're done with this, and I'm going to smoke an actual cigar and have a really nice fucking time. But let's actually, speaking of which, let's go through as much as we can with this, because I hate this and it's awful.
With the Hunter Biden laptop story, when we already know, we know how this played out in 2016 with the Hillary Clinton email, press conference where Comey and
where that was real,
abundance of scrupulosity, felt like he had to come before the cameras, I think 10 days out from the election, and say, we're going to open up this investigation again because we've got Anthony Weiner's laptop. We could see, again, her failure to become president was overdetermined. She was an appallingly bad candidate.
Mm-hmm. And that was all real.
Tracking the poll numbers.
Hold on.
You could that was the killing blow to her candidacy, right? That final moment. And
oh my God! How dare the law actually present to the people that she's actually a terrible fucking candidate?
This was a highly analogous situation. We're going to open up this laptop.
It wasn't analogous.
And
Trump hadn't actually done anything against the law. She had.
It's going to be just conceivably just a nuclear bomb of an October surprise. And we're going to get 4 more years of Trump if we actually give this a fair hearing.
But Sam,
but you can't do that, Sam. Surely you've got to realise that you've got to be fair. And the thing that I want to
we're all equal before the law.
Yeah,
aren't we?
And the other
this isn't the law. But
I know it's not the law. But if this
no,
is,
it's not. No. Hillary Clinton can't be equal before the law. That's what they're about to. That's what he's about to say.
No, hold on, let me just let him finish.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
If you accept my supposition that this is the public square, then it is the law. It is. If it is the public square, then it is law. Now, you're arguing it's not the public square, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine.
Yeah,
Look, why don't we move on? Because I think we've done enough.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
He's sucked up a lot of it.
He's got to have it doing that.
Yeah. No, but I'll just say, just finally, I do, again, it's like a coin toss for me, the Hunter Biden laptop thing. I do understand how corrosive it is for an institution like the New York Times to show obvious bias and inconsistency and dishonesty in how it's like they couldn't even frame it honestly. It's not like it's like the way I would frame it is.
He's just basically saying like, "Oh, whoops! Oh, I'm so sorry that we can't. We want to lie so bad, but we can't. How no? It's so frustrating." That's what he's saying. Let's go ahead though. Sorry, yeah.
Hunter Biden at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared. Right? It's like there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden.
Wow.
But even if Joe Biden,
let's be clear about what he just said. He said he wouldn't care if if what came out in the Hunter Biden leaks included Hunter Biden having corpses of children in his basement, he would still have supported Joe Biden. That's what he just said. You can make as many explications as you would like. What Sam Harris just said there is that he would support Joe Biden even if Hunter Biden's laptop had shown that Hunter had killed children and put their corpses in a basement, okay? Also, Peter for 5 says, Aiden, you need to truly get based and trad. Take up pipe smoking. No, I don't do that kind of shit. But thank you very much, Peter. Let's just be clear. You heard what he said there, didn't you, Spin?
Hold on.
Let's just play through it again. So everyone can hear it.
listen, I don't care what's in Hunter Biden's. I mean, Hunter Biden, at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared, right? It's like, there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden.
Let's be clear.
Even
Okay.
Sam Harris.
Okay, now hold on. Let me just say something. If it was just Hunter Biden, the laptop wouldn't have been disguised.
But also, let's be real. Sam Harris just said that he would not care if Hunter Biden had killed children. He would still have voted for Joe Biden.
No, it doesn't necessarily just to kill them, just hide their bodies.
How did the bodies end up there? He would still. Let's be clear about that.
He smoked crack and they overdosed.
Sam Harris would have been fine with the bodies of dead children. He would have still voted for Joe Biden, even if he had definitive proof that Hunter Biden had killed children.
I don't quite know how the hell you don't see, like, it is Joe, because the only reason why Hunter Biden was able to do any of this shit is because of his father's position as a VP, Sam. I mean, what the fuck?
Unbelievable. Like, I'm sorry, Sam, but you're just evil at this point. Go ahead.
You're just
I'll be right
also
back.
insane.
Yeah, you're insane.
Like, even whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like, if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right? Or China. It is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in.
No, we don't. You literally know no fucking corruption that Trump is involved in. You sack of shit.
It's like a firefly to the sun, right? I mean, like, there's just, it doesn't even stack up against Trump University, right? Trump University as a story is worse than.
Okay, so this guy can be involved with foreign governments, with the military of essentially a rivaling world power, and how that person essentially bribes him and destroys the fucking country and loses the country dry, and that's totally fine as long as Trump is not in office. Jesus fucking Christ, Sam, you are insane.
And anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view, right? Now, that doesn't answer the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account. Like that's just a conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, right? But I think it was warranted, right? And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not
Sam, I'm sorry.
That particular piece.
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move on, but you've just said something I really struggle with there, which is.
The kids in the basement?
No, fuck the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy. You're saying you are content with a left-wing conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically re-elected as president.
Well, no, I'm content. Well, but the thing is, it's just not left-wing, right? So Liz Cheney is not left-wing, right? Liz Cheney is doing everything in her power.
You're content with a conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically elected.
But there's nothing conspiracy. It's not. It was a conspiracy out in the open. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what part's conspiracy, what part's out in the open. I mean, I think
this is really, really logically inconsistent.
It is logically
like really just like you are dancing around the fact that you are okay with the deep state censoring information to make sure their chosen fucking golden boy wins. That is 100% what you are in favor of, Sam. You fucking deep state simp.
Just say it. Sam, just say it. I mean, like he's basically said it.
He's a glowy at this point.
Like that, it's fine for his party, his people that he believes in to cheat, to do what the hell they want, as long as they win. And I want to be clear to everybody else. I want to be clear to everybody else that this is who we're dealing with, right? People, those of us on the right side of things, I mean the conservative side of things, that the people on the left side they don't care anymore. They are not lying about they are lying, but they don't care anymore about pretending that they're not cheating. Cheating is now a normal part of their political
I think it has been for years.
Goal. Yeah. So be aware that those of us on the right have to be aware that those of the people that we are going against politically think that it's fine to cheat. So let's just be clear about that and continue.
Somebody said to me that
if people get together and talk
somebody said to me that the next Top Gun is going to be called Friendly Fire by Diversity Hire.
Let's go ahead.
I thought that was really what should we
do? That's amazing, actually. Yeah,
about this phenomenon. You know, if it's like if there was an asteroid hurtling toward Earth, and we got in a room together with all of our friends and had a conversation about what we could do to deflect its course, right? Is that a conspiracy? Like some of that conversation would be in public, some of it would be in private.
I mean,
There's no corruption involved here, Sam. That is the stupidest comparison. That's really bad.
The thing that's insane is that he's openly admitted that there was a conspiracy to not elect Donald Trump, right? He admits this, that the left actively engaged in conspiracy to make sure Donald Trump would not be elected in 2020, right? He's saying it here. And now
this guy's been freebasing. Yeah, he's been hitting.
And now how he's trying to explain it to Konstantin and why can't I never remember his name?
Francis.
Francis. I'm sorry. My bad. I don't know why I can. So the way he's trying to explain his nonsense to Konstantin and Tristan, Francis.
What's the other thing you always forget as well?
I forget so many things. But the way that
the book.
Oh, I don't know. But the way that he wants to explain
the book that Adam keeps citing.
And Francis. Oh yeah, I always forget the name of that book, even though I've read it. But
every single time.
Every time I forget it.
Every single time. The Dictator's Handbook.
Dictator's Handbook. I always forget the name of
time. I
know. I don't know why I want to call him Tristan. My brain is so fucked. But the way that he's fucking it up with Konstantin and Francis is that he basically is saying, yeah, we cheated. Yeah, we did all of this, but it's a good thing because
Orange Man bad.
Because Orange Man bad. And it's kind of an insane thing to admit.
This is going to make so many rounds, by the way. This is going to fucking destroy his career.
Oh, it's going everywhere already.
Yeah, this is just insane.
Because he's basically admitted, and he's not the first one.
What's my new Twitter? Hold on.
It's the post your new Twitter. But the thing is that it's the funny thing.
Actually my old Twitter.
The funny thing is that they there was a whole big fucking issue of Trump's so evil, and now it turns out that we there was that Times article about how the United States election was fortified, and now Sam Harris is out here saying, yes, we did fortify the election. We don't care. We really don't care that we stole it. We're just telling you that it's good for you. Get over it. It's better for you. Keza for £5 also says Sam's that false comparison, and don't look up who the establishment allowed the meteor to destroy the planet. Yeah, I haven't seen Don't Look Up actually, Keza, but I'll have to check into it because I've heard something about it. And the Redneck Ram for $10, hey, thank you, man, says, I'll be honest with you, I've only been half listening to the stream because I fear the foolishness coming out of Sam's mouth might turn my brain to oatmeal if I seriously listen to it. You are correct, my dude.
I disagree.
It's pretty screwed up.
I disagree because oatmeal is good for you.
That is true. Oatmeal is good to you. Sam Harris, not good for you. Yeah. Sam Harris is about to do the entire thing that he has pretended does not exist.
You would be more intelligent if your brain was made of oatmeal than Sam Harris at this point.
Sam Harris is about to pretend. Anyway. Here's the thing that Sam Harris is about to pretend that everything he's claimed about Trump is not true. It's astonishing. Here we go.
But we have a massive problem. We have an existential threat, right?
No, you don't. The existential threat is in your fucking head, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Politically speaking, I consider Trump an existential threat to our democracy right now.
Oh my God, you are a media twat. You are literally a media elitist Democrat fucking pundit. You sound like every F word on fucking CNN.
Look at their faces too, though. They're just like,
he's an existential threat to our democracy. That is literally the slogan of the deep state.
I know. Existential threat to what?
No, he's not going to destroy the world. Very likely.
He destroyed democracy in the process of protecting democracy.
No, but that doesn't destroy. No,
that is literally what Zelensky does in Ukraine right now.
Try to use your brain, Sam. Oh, you can't use your brain because you're fucking broken. All right.
What I'm not suggesting, at no point was I suggesting we should stuff ballots or actually break.
You actually kind of are, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
You are suggesting that. You are suggesting that. That's why would you bring this up if you weren't suggesting it? That's the thing that's super fucking curious about this, right? No one brought up stuffing ballots until right this second, which means that really what he is suggesting is stuffing ballots. Yeah.
Make the machinery of democracy, but the
you are the information of the voters is a massively vital cog to democracy. So if you are openly censoring information that would sway the voters, you may as well be stuffing the ballot.
Yes, he said absolutely that he wants all the information for people to be. He said ultimately that he wants people to not be able to see the truth.
Yes.
And now he's saying, "Oh, I don't want you to stuff ballots." Wink, wink. Right. So he's lying. Everything he's saying is a lie. He's a fucking nonsense merchant, and this is insane. But yeah, let's keep going. He only goes on for a little bit longer, but let's keep going. Yeah,
is already being just completely inundated with misinformation, biased takes, half truths, and outright lies. Right, like and or just
like what? Give me examples. Because so far this is just rhetoric. There's no facts on any of this.
We're all evil who are not Sam. Everyone who's not Sam Harris is evil. That's what it is.
The amplification of bad or misleading information based on the algorithm, right? So it's already just an abattoir of opinion, right? And now the question is, what can you do with your own biases and your own to get the outcome you think is actually better, not just for yourself personally, but for the world, right? So I'm completely unconflicted in
what
the claim that a first Trump term was bad and a second Trump term would be bad, and it literally doesn't matter what else was on the menu. Like literally, pick a random American better than Trump in the Oval Office. Like the likelihood that you're going to get someone who's worse than Trump, given what I consider that is bad about Trump, is, I mean.
I don't think you've actually told me what's bad about Trump, considering you said you
no,
actually. This is what I don't get. You literally said, Sam, that you prefer most of his policies.
Yeah. So yes,
isn't that
yes,
you literally said you prefer most of his policies? Why is he bad then?
In the past. No, the reason is because Sam now has to say this shit because this is where he gets his money from, and this is really kind of fucked up. Particularly when he kept talking all that shit about Alex Jones. Is that Sam? You are talking shit because you get paid to talk shit. That's what it's about. It's sickening. It's disgusting, and frankly, I find it completely. You have lost every single bit of in my opinion,
credibility,
valor, or respectability that you had for me. It's gone. Journey for 5 says, Sam, you're supposed to sell the bull crap, not eat it yourself. Exactly, Journey. And then Gallifreyan Avenger for €5 says, first found trigonometry a few years back when they interviewed Dankula. This expose of Harris is gold dust. Always like the cut of their jib. Yeah, it's.
I wouldn't even say it's an expose. They just let him fucking talk.
No, they literally just let him talk. That's the astonishing thing. They barely say anything. They just let him fucking bury himself. It's astonishing. Let's keep going though, because you can see Sam Harris bury himself. It's amazing.
It's on the order of 1 in a million, right? Like you're not going to get worse than Trump if you pick at random. And Hillary Clinton, for all of her flaws, was not worse than Trump. Joe Biden,
oh my God!
Are you Joe Biden is not worse than Trump? Sam,
Hillary
what
Clinton
the fuck?
Better than Trump. So again, Sam Harris now saying Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are better than Trump.
Well, he's a Democrat, so of course he'd say that.
Well, I know, but do you guys believe that? How do you guys feel? Let's be clear that Sam Harris has sold himself as a middle-of-the-road person.
Please tell me they ask him what is his opinion of the current president.
Well, let's go.
Please, dear God, tell me they ask him.
I haven't gotten that far, but let's be clear. Sam Harris has now said that Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are better than Trump.
That's insane. Right? That's an insanely stupid thing to say.
It's an insanely stupid thing to say. Also, Supreme Emperor Kissa for £5 says, Sam, actually, over 99%, Sam, over 99% of politicians are worse than Trump, and the public are superior to those politicians. Fixed it for you. grade A retard. I agree. Dude, I agree. This is actually retarded. Sam, you
some of
seem
the
to
comments on this video is
mentally-
hilarious, by the way.
You seem to be mentally disabled, Sam, but let's go.
We could have known Joe Biden was going to just be comatose in office, not worse than Trump, right?
Just like to reiterate what he said there, is that Joe Biden could be comatose and would be better than Trump. All right?
Kamala Harris not worse. Like it's all, and again, it's not just a
Did you just say Kamala Harris would not be worse than Trump? Dude,
He said Kamala Harris, while being comatose, would be better than Trump. That's what he said.
No, he said Biden would be comatose.
No, he said, and Kamala Harris. So he implied
you're
her
not
also
gonna get
being
worse than Trump
comatose.
if you pick at random. And Hillary Clinton, for all of her flaws, was not worse than Trump. Joe Biden, we could have known Joe Biden was going to just be comatose in office, not worse than Trump, right? Kamala Harris not worse. Like it's all, and again, it's not just a marginal call. It's just
You're true. You're right. He didn't say that Kamala Harris being comatose, but
Yeah, I just did that to prove you wrong.
well, thank you. Work. I misheard it. I misheard it. This guy's out of his fucking mind. Sam, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, this was a complete self-destruction of your own career. Like, this was like,
Yeah,
holy
he's
fuck.
ruined himself. Holy shit.
Can I just read? There's a comment here from one of the people saying, watching your guys' faces, one of the most respected and internationally famous public intellectuals just breathlessly torch his own career in front of you is quite a sight to behold. Yeah, pretty is. 'Cause, like, the second he said that, like Clinton, for all the faults, wouldn't be bad. Like Joe Biden, like, please tell me they ask him, what is your perception of the current president? Because after saying you prefer Cheney, like, dude, you're insane.
Know. It's bizarre. Put the shit back on. Hang on, I gotta do something real quick.
Normal politicians who are so much more.
Did
Again,
you
it's not
see that fucking side eye from Francis just a second?
A marginal call. It's just these are people who are normal politicians.
Did you see that? Just watch Francis's face. Just watch his face, just the side eye.
Kamala Harris not worse. Like it's all, and again, it's not just a marginal call. It's just these are people who are normal politicians who are so much more constrained by predictable machinery. Right?
They are not constrained by predictable machinery. The machinery is what controls them, you fucking idiot. Trump is the one that controls the machinery, and that is what bothered them. You don't even know what the hell is going on in your own country and what has been the problem of your country for like the better part of over 100 years, Sam. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right. There's such less of an opportunity there to destroy institutions that we have to rely on.
Your institutions are shit. That is the fucking point of the country's poison, you fucking moron. If you ask anyone right now, where is the problem in Washington? They would tell you the apparatus is way too fucking big.
No, I mean, like, it depends on who you ask, exactly.
A sane person, so you or I.
Insane person, yeah. Right.
Right, with any of those people in charge, including a random person in charge, a random person who's going to be terrified at the responsibility of the office and default to expert opinion, across the board.
You mean like you?
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants to be in charge.
So you're basically Sam. You're basically Wilsonian progressive.
Yeah, he just wants to be in charge. Yeah, that's the whole thing. He wants to be in charge. He is a Wilsonian. You're completely correct. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a Wilsonian progressive.
Yep.
No, Trump is an Alex Jones level figure for me, and so it's a smaller problem is for some billionaire to buy the New York Times and give it to Alex Jones to run. Right, that would be that would be a catastrophic loss.
That would not be a catastrophic loss. That would be the world's greatest troll.
Did you see how they both put their hands up and said, "Wait the fuck, no"? Because did Trump or Alex Jones buy the New York Times? No, they didn't. So he's
3 of 12 just made a good point, by the way.
So he's completely enacting under an imaginary fantasy world.
No, by the way, 3 of 12 just made a good point. He just said, like, Trump is dangerous to our democracy while we manipulate it for the good of the country, in our opinion. Like, yeah, that is exactly what you're doing. You are a Wilsonian fucking progressive.
Yeah, 100%.
You are, and I take it back, he's an authoritarian. Fuck him.
Yes, he is.
You guys are right. I
And
was wrong.
Forbidden
He's an
Cat Belly for
authoritarian.
2 says, waiting to hear that Sam's checked in for rehab. We'll have to
Yeah.
see. But like,
So
yeah,
the
this
people
is
can't decide,
insane.
and an unelected bureaucracy has to decide for the people because the people can't make their own choices.
This is insane, though.
Yeah.
Like
I have no problem. I have no problem apologizing when I'm wrong. Like, no, I was wrong. He's an authoritarian. Fuck Sam Harris. He's an asshole.
authoritarian. Like, this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. And you can watch the two of them who are not authoritarians be like, "Excuse you, could you try to like make this shit make sense?" No, you can't.
I could make a video about this actually.
I know, actually, yeah.
And mistake, it's a smaller problem than getting Trump reelected.
Based on fucking what?
Let's go through it.
Hey, Francis, do you like journalism?
Cool.
I do, especially when you guys are ripping the shit out of Sam Harris.
I love trigonometry. Please subscribe to their channel, but I'm gonna skip ahead. Sorry.
We care about them. They were betrayed time after time, many times by the Democrats, who said that they were representing ordinary working people, like the Labour Party were in my country, and they felt that these politicians didn't care. So why not vote for Trump? What else have you got to
Yeah,
lose?
exactly.
No, I think that explains
Answer the fucking question, Sam.
most of his support and certainly his success. Yeah, but I think we should be honest about how.
Yeah, he can't answer the question.
How am I going to bullshit my way out of this? Is
yeah,
what
how
he's
am I
thinking.
gonna? Yeah, he's trying to fucking calculate how he can get his way out of this question. It's fascinating, right? Let's go through it.
Well, both uninformed and nihilistic by turn.
Oh, so all of us are just
uninformed. Jesus,
all of
like,
us are either
you
retarded.
arrogant cock.
Yes, all of us who voted for Trump are either idiots or nihilists. Guess what? Hello, everyone in the chat. If you voted for Trump, you're either a nihilist or an idiot. There's no in between.
How about they wanted to give a giant fuck you to this machinery because it's occupied with people exactly like fucking you.
Yeah. Yes, how curious though, right? That if you
your attitude is the bloody problem that gets someone like Trump elected, Sam. That is you are the epitome of what Republicans hate. Is your fucking stuck up attitude.
Intellectual
you
stuck up
pompous
bullshit.
son of a bitch.
We can't stand it. And I'm saying this as an intellectual, so fuck off.
That attitude is, right? It's just like it's not.
By the way, Hillary would have started World War III.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% convinced she would have started shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean that is like the
she basically has the phrase Lockheed Martin tattooed on her cooch.
Yes,
clearest
she has
eruption
Lockheed
of
Martin tattooed on her.
Thanatos,
Yeah,
in our lifetime, right? It's just like let's just burn it all down on some level. Like this guy's our wrecking ball. We hate the elites. We hate the so-called experts. Go fuck yourselves. We're just going to enjoy just watching this thing.
Yeah, and how did the country fare when they did that? It was actually pretty well, actually.
Yeah, I suppose so, right?
Yeah, I mean, Sam, even you said you agree with most of his policies, so clearly he couldn't have been that bad by your own fucking admission.
Right. This is the thing that's so insane. Like he's like, I agree with many things that Trump did, but I also hate him, and he's literal Hitler 2.0. Okay, Sam. Well,
how can you agree with most of his policies if you say he's that bad? That tells me you're part of the cabal.
Yeah, Sam, figure out which one you actually agree with. It turns out that you agree with only things that make you money. How about that? That's the reality.
I would love to be the fly inside of Constantine's head during all of this because my God, the wheels and the hamster on the wheels must be like, jeez, fucking Christ, all my windows in here.
But you know this, Spoon, that he only agrees with the Trump policies that make him money. That's the way.
So does everyone. That's kind of what they want him to do.
Exactly. What a loser, though. What a fucking nightmare humanoid. Fuck him. Fuck you, Sam Harris. Let's go.
Swing through everything you care about, and just the sounds of explosions are going to just give us pleasure, right? Like that's where we are.
Yes, and I have an erection just thinking about it.
With tens of millions of people in this country, that is a.
Oh my God, how dare Trump dismantle the fucking biggest bureaucracy in the world. What a terrible bad man.
He's just a terrible bad man.
A very scary basis from which to try to...
That's not a very scary basis. That's sexy as fuck.
I love how they're just like, both of them are just like, yeah, try to explain it. You can't.
Cooperate at scale. And produce political outcomes that are actually going to be good, right? And
I mean, he did that when he was in office.
I know.
I mean, what was it? What was the main thing he said? I want to secure the border. He did that. Provide a better economy. He did that. He gave the first wage growth in like 50 fucking years.
Yeah,
and he got energy independence, and he produced less wars. Like, what the fuck did he do that's bad?
Sam is well aware. I think he has to be well aware that he's just lying at this point.
Well, he's just insane.
That what he's saying is insane, but he is hoping that's like, oh, but Trump is so evil. It's okay that I'm lying and saying crazy things because Trump is so evil. No, Sam, you can't do this on the Trigonometry channel. You can do that in your own channel all you want, but people on here will be able to see what the fuck you're saying and how crazy it is, and they won't believe your nonsense.
By the way, did you see, you know Gad Saad?
Mm-hmm. I love Gad Saad, yeah.
Yeah, he did a video on this.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because a bunch of people messaged him and just said, like, Sam Harris is so fucking insane, we want your opinion. And and he essentially said that, yeah, because you know he did the book The Parasitic Mind, and he was basically said like the example for that is Sam Harris, because he's got that mindset of like the parasitic mind that just warped his. I should have actually used Sam Harris in my video, because he's the quintessential because he's like the quintessential example I could have used, because I don't understand like how people who are otherwise somewhat rational can get this man in their head, and he completely fucking destroys it like a fucking cannonball. It is bizarre. I don't understand it. I find it intellectually fascinating as well as deeply worrying.
But and worrying. But yeah, let's continue though.
And again, the extremes amplify each other, right? So you've got Trumpism. I mean, there was no greater good to wokeism than Trumpism, right? And so
yeah, okay, why's that bad?
I put myself in second place to nobody, although I probably spent
you will be in this conversation, pal.
Yeah, a little bit less time on it than some people we could name. In the revulsion I feel to the extreme left, activism, right? I mean, it's.
Let's be clear. You feel no revulsion towards the extreme left.
Yeah, you're a Wilsonian. Fuck off.
You are an extreme leftist at this point. I don't know what revulsion.
I wouldn't say in policy, but his desire to control the state is definitely Wilsonian to a fucking T.
And to control individual people is extreme leftist. So, I don't know how you feel, Sam, but I think that your desire to control individual people's lives and feelings and emotions is extremely far left. I know that it might make you upset that it is considered far left, but in fact, that's what it is. You want to control the ability of people to have feelings, and that's it.
And you think you know what's better than everybody else?
Yes, that you know how to tell other people how to feel, and that is a very, very, very far leftist idea. Sorry, that you're upset by that apparently, but you are a far leftist when you tell people that they have to feel a certain way. My bad.
It's as dishonest as it can possibly be, and its dishonesty is harder to parse for smart people. Smart, ethical people find what's happening on the left much more confusing.
You're not smart. You're not smart, my dude. This is the thing that makes me.
Grim, that's basically the question I asked in my video today. It's like literally what you just wrote. It's like, how can one man mind break so many people? It's bizarre.
I know, and this part really makes me fucking irritated. Is that like he just continually does this, like, I'm just smarter than everyone else. I'm so smart. I'm so intelligent. No, you're not, Sam Harris. You're really not. I'm really fucking tired of you pretending to be smarter than people like me. You're not. I'm sorry, Sam Harris. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think I'm particularly intelligent, but I gotta be honest. I think I'm significantly smarter than you at this point. And I don't care. I think I'm smarter than you. Get fucked. Let's go back into it.
Than what's happening on the right. So it's like, so people ask me like, and I spend much more time focused on the left than I do on Trump or on the right, because
not in this interview, Sam.
You go to me. Look, you got the full dose of my Trump.
Revulsion is a strong word. Why? And I feel exactly.
Well, at least he admits he has Trump derangement syndrome, so he's aware of it at least.
The same thing, and you know why? We talked about my book before. I come from a society that's seen some of these ideas being implemented. Yeah. Why do you feel revulsion, a very, very strong emotion about this ideology?
Well, because it's
hold on. No, I want to hear what he says.
Revulsion? Yeah. Does he admit to being revulsion? Let's go. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, one, it is destroying institutions that I actually care about. Right? It's like, white supremacy and far-right lunacy is not affecting institutions that matter.
Lunacy?
Okay, hold on a sec. That's like the main thing that's being pushed about Trump. So if that isn't the thing that scares you, what is? Like, I'm actually asking the chat.
No, I think he's making shit up. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
Who
don't
is
believe
worse, Sammy or James
I do not-
O'Brien
I
and
do not-
LBC
I do
with
not
his
believe
manual
him.
labor
I do
take?
not believe
Oh, James O'Brien is worse.
I do not believe him. I think he's incorrect. I just don't believe him. I don't believe him.
By my lights, right? You could argue it affected the White House and the U.S. government to some degree at the margins. I mean, again, I think allegations of Trump's racism or his alignment with the far right and white supremacy, I think that's been massively exaggerated by the left, and most.
So what is your issue with Trump then? I don't understand. What is your actual problem with him?
That Trump still okay. I'll tell you what it is. Trump, he wants more attention. In my opinion, he just wants more attention. Trump is
right now. I don't know what his actual problem is.
His problem is Trump is distracting attention from him. That's what the problem appears to be.
No, it's not that petty.
Yes, it is. I think it is that petty. I think it is that petty. But all right.
You're being silly.
Do you think I'm being silly? All
yes. Right. And also, you've been drinking.
I have been, but yeah.
Because I can tell, because your voice goes up a higher pitch, and I can guarantee the chat will agree with me that when Aiden starts drinking, her voice gets like tipsy, high pitched.
It goes up. I know, but I think that he's lying because
you're like, I feel a little bit buzzy, just a little bit buzzy. That's you.
How about this? You're being very rude, Ben.
See what I mean? With the high pitched. There we go.
Right. I actually have no doubt that he's actually racist.
Hey, what now? A little bit buzz. A little bit buzzy, a little bit buzzy.
Continue. Yes, I am drinking. Whatever. Continue.
But most of the public...
The chat's going to make fun of you, by the way, and so am I.
No shit. Make fun of me, chat. It's good. I'm about to...
his racism, I think they're obviously false.
I would like to be done with the stream so I can go sit in my hot tub. And
okay, fine. If you shush then we just let him talk.
All right, let's go.
Consistent. And so it's... I mean, I think you have to be intellectually honest even as you deride these dangerous people and extremes. The left
what
has,
there?
As I'm sure you've pointed out many times on your show, I mean, it has captured institutions. It has captured academia. It's captured journalism. It's captured science to an amazing degree. It's captured Hollywood. It's and for reasons that are understandable, because it is hard to figure out what's wrong with Black Lives Matter as a movement.
No, it isn't. They siphon out of money, and they have far left Marxist ideas.
It is a Marxist organization that is anti-white.
And just steals money. It's just a way to siphon money. It's just a grift. Yes. That's all it is.
It's a total grift. And they hate white people. If you've not been able to figure that out.
The head of Black Lives Matter bought like 5 houses.
Oh my god,
it's a corrupted grift, you fucking idiot. It's not difficult to tell what's wrong with it. It's very easy, actually, Sam. Jesus.
It's like you look at it, it's almost perfectly engineered to just get past the blood-brain barrier and just attach to all the right ethical receptor sites, right?
No, he's right about that. That is what it's trying to do.
It's designed to get. Okay, no, that's not correct. It is designed to get.
The movement is that is what it's trying to do.
Is designed to get past your blood-brain receptor site. Be clear about that. That part is correct, but holy shit, it's. The BLM movement is bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, of course, that's how it is.
It is not designed to actually get you to give
BLM buying a lot of mansions. Someone said I should put that on a shirt.
That's the reality. Whatever. Stupid as fuck.
It's like this is.
Man, the amount of patience Constantine displayed during this is like fucking legendary.
I know. Unbelievable.
Of course, I care about. Of course, racism is disgusting. The last thing I would want to be is a racist. Of course, I acknowledge.
I would have to be a racist in today's terms because the word means absolutely fucking nothing. Like the word, like to be a fascist, to be a Nazi, to be a racist, a sexist, like all of these words mean nothing, nothing at all.
Well, you are very racist.
Yes, I'm terribly racist. I think that some cultures have better ideas than others, and I do believe that any human being can learn from a better culture to improve themselves. Like that saying something like that will make you racist these days.
I know, that's the thing that's insane, is that both of us think, like, okay.
If I want to learn math, I would go to an Asian. If I wanted to get better financing advice, I'd go to a Jew.
Whoa, we.
If I wanted to learn how to be a better strongman, I'd go to an Eastern European.
Just saying that we.
If I wanted to learn how to be an arsehole, I'd go to an Englishman.
But how about this? That how is it a weird thing to say that, hey, I would go to someone of another race to want to improve myself?
I don't know why that's racist. Like that to me is just we just go to where's the information. To all English people in the chat, my apologies. I just thought it'd be funny. I'm one of the few South Africans that don't actually hate the English. I don't have a problem with English people. English people are funny. God bless them.
Acknowledge the legacy of slavery and just how hard fought all of our civil rights gains have been in the United States.
No one cares, and we should go back to that.
Of course, I don't want members of minority groups feeling victimized, much less being victimized. I want
unless they peddle right-wing information, in which case Sam Harris has no problem with shutting you down.
Fair hiring practices. I gotta say. Just check all the boxes on to have a good liberal conscience, right?
Yeah.
Liberal conscience is pretty gay.
If you're that sort of person and you're confronted by Black Lives Matter as a social phenomenon and the protests over George Floyd and all of that, it is very hard to see that you're in the presence of a completely dishonest moral panic, right? Because there's so many points of contact with real grievance.
It's not
potential
dishonest.
Points of contact with real grievance.
No, Black Lives Matter is dishonest.
It is dishonest, but this is insane. So Dreadnought for 10 says, Sam really isn't that smart. He's very good at sounding smart, but I became completely disillusioned with him when Vox Day completely destroyed him with the Irrational Atheist book. And then Cold Warmech for $5 said, the only good thing in regards to BLM is the name, and even then they use that against you when you don't support them. I gotta be honest, guys, I'm drunk as fuck, so I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I have to go to sleep. I'm fucked up beyond belief.
Yeah, that's not what we ended here. We can
So
catch it later on if people want to.
Let's try to finish this stream later. But like, I'm way too fucked up.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah, I'm too drunk. I'm super fucking drunk. I can't do it. All right. So we will try to maybe do more of this stream later. Sorry for me being so drunk. I didn't know we're actually going to do this video tonight. So my bad. My bad. Yeah, you don't say, Aiden. Yeah, I know I'm drunk as fuck. I want to go. Here's the thing, too, lads.
Don't say.
I want to go sit in my fucking.
You want to sit in water when you're very drunk? That's not going to go down well. Yes,
I want to go sit in my hot tub. That's what I want to do.
Just rest your face over the edge so that you don't drown.
I'm drunk as fuck. I'm sorry. Okay, but thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. I got too drunk. Thank you all for. No, I'm not. I puke it. I gotta I'm just drunk. Okay. Thank you all for showing up. Sorry that I was unable to finish this stream.
Someone called me Gaiden.
I am Gaiden. My bad. I won't drown. Hopefully.
And LBS wasn't gay for once.
If you could see how awesome my fucking hot tub looks right now, it's so cool. Anywho, I'm gonna go to sit in my hot tub for like an hour and then go to sleep. I'm very fucking tired. Thank you all so much for hanging out, at least for the time that we did. We're gonna finish the Sam Harris clip, I hope.